5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is your home! No one can take this from you! Hold it high!
Welcome to the National Havoc Robot League 2025 Open World Championship.
Oh, look at that! It's happening!
Oh my goodness, this was an incredible tournament, Kyle. Don't you agree?
Absolutely insane. Chaos, destruction, true walkers, complete madness.
Someone has to win and someone has to lose.
I have wanted to make it to the championship so badly, and I finally did it.
You'd have to be crazy not to appreciate a fight like that and a competitor like Kazaa.
Hold this high, girl.
It's been such an awesome ride watching you grow as a driver and a builder.
Wow. Glenn is looking pumped. Oh my God! Wow! Seabird has been disintegrated.
Jelly Baby is not afraid. Never will be.
Hold it high.
And go taking advantage.
Oh, those are massive hits. Your winner is going to be Jamison Go.
Are you guys going home with a golden Brett?
I'd love to. We'll see what happens in December.
We'll see you at the World Championships where we will crown 3 new Golden Brett winners.
As far as this robot's concerned, all I care about is who's next!
Welcome to the National Havoc Robot League World Championship. It is our final event of the year. The day so far has been back-to-back bangers, knockouts galore, and it's been amazing. The 24 robots that remain are the best in the world, but we still need champions in every weight class. Sending it now to my good friend Kyle Cross. Kyle, how's this day been?
Oh, Sam, this day has been fantastic, full of robot combat, pure destruction, and anarchy. I've loved every minute of it, but right now, I'm gonna introduce you to who we are fighting for today. The most coveted prize in all of combat robotics. That's right, the Golden Brett, the World Championship trophy for the National Havoc Robot League. Right now, though, we're going to talk about the 3-pound bracket. This has been an absolute knockdown, drag-out fight all day. Former world champion Repeater still in the bracket. Down at the bottom, though, we got a really interesting story developing. We've got Pine Victus from Alex Wang going up against the ace of NHRL, Jamison Go and Silent Spring. Jamison Go qualified 3 robots for this tournament, 1 in each weight class, and due to some judges' decisions today, they went a little bit not his way. He's only got 1 robot left in this tournament, and that is the most award-winning bot in all of combat robotics, Silent Spring. But right now, we're going to go up to Richard Tiemann in the pits. Richard, what's going on up there?
Oh, what's going on is we are hyped, we are jacked, we are pumped because this is the 2025 World Championship primetime pit area. But of course, we still have another weight class to discuss. That's the 12-pounders. Now, your eyes may instantly jump to Slam Plan versus Full Court, but the matchup that has everyone abuzz is RoboCat versus Buzzkill. In fact, I have Liam right here of Buzzkill next to me, and we are going to break down that fight. Hey, 2 bots, a lot of momentum. How you feel going into it?
I feel pretty good. I definitely feel like this is a favorable matchup for me, but I absolutely still need to respect his options. He can still deal a lot of damage, especially with his thinner blade, able to better pierce TPU and UHMW. So I've come here with titanium front and big old forks to hopefully get under his wedge. So I'm really excited because this is actually the very first time I've been able to run this config, so fingers crossed it goes well.
There you have it. Go fast, go hard. And now for the 30-pounders, the big boys, to Adam.
Thank you, Richard. I'm down here next to the BFS Arena side. This place is a packed
house. Every seat is full. The ground is full. Everyone's excited to watch some bots, and let's talk about some 30-pound bots, the biggest, heaviest robots we have here. Only 8 robots are remaining in this list, and as Kyle mentioned earlier, you may notice one name missing. Jameson Go and Megatron are not in the top 8. He cannot make a third Golden Brett. But who can make a third Golden Brett is Emulsifier, a robot I'm intimately familiar with, part of Bots FC. Matt Boers out of Ohio, bringing the heaviest hitting vertical disc spinner, a little bit low ranked this year, outside the top 10. He's got something to prove. Who's he going up against in this bracket? Well, we've got Chonke, the number 2 ranked and highest ranked robot left in the tournament, a massive horizontal full body spinner who took out the number 1 ranked vertical spinner Ares earlier tonight. This is going to be non-stop action, and I'm going to throw it over to my friends in the play-by-play booth, Ricky and Dima, for more.
Thank you so much, Adam. I'm Ricky Willems.
I'm Dima Papazian.
And we're here in the play-by-play booth. We're the ones who are going to be bringing you all of the action, all of the commentary for the fights themselves. It's going to be an amazing day. Are you excited?
Beyond excited. I've been excited all day, but the action's not over.
Let's take you through what she's so excited about with World Champs 101. The bots that are here tonight are the best of the best. They qualified in open events throughout this year, 7 different open events. We've got 3 weight classes, 3 pounds, 12 pounds, 30 pounds. All of their fights are 3 minutes long, and their objective is simple: destroy their opponents. If they can't do that, it'll either go to a tap out or a judge's decision after 3 minutes. Every robot has 1 unstick from the house bot, where if they get stuck in the arena, they can attempt to be free. It's not guaranteed. Either way, the champion tonight will go home with a Golden Brett and a fat stack of cash.
Not only are they going home with the most prestigious trophy, the Golden Brett, they're also going home with some pretty big stacks of cash in 3 pounds, 12 pounds, and 30 pounds. They're fighting for $8,000, $12,000, and $15,000 respectively. But let's see the competitors in our first fight.
Justin Dew from Schaumburg, Illinois is bringing you the Undertaker. This is an incredible vertical spinner, and he'll be facing
Matt Vasquez out of Newberry Park, California, bringing you Lil Lash, an amazing robot that has a lifting action and vertical spinner.
Let's not waste any time. We'll go to Sam Cage's side, and he has one thing left to do.
I sure do. You all know what it is. Let's lock it and rock it.
Right, you can see the opponents are loaded in, ready to go. Lil Lash, Undertaker, facing down the house pot right now. They got to get to their sides, don't they, Dima?
Oh, everybody in the cage is menacing right now. Both the competitors and the house bot ready to drive to their corners, ready to fight. First fight out of prime time. Gotta feel like the pressure's on a little bit.
The pressure is absolutely on. I mean, these are robots that came from halfway across the country and all the way across the country to fight here tonight. Some of the best builders in the world. What do you think of this matchup?
So, Undertaker hasn't been KO'd at NHRL. They've had 14 fights. There's a few robots that have the, never been KO'd stat, but pretty few that have that many fights under their belt and at this weight class.
Yeah, it's an impressively durable robot. And frankly, I don't know if Lil Lash is the one who would deliver that knockout blow. They're more of a control robot.
Yeah, Undertaker, I don't think is going to be very threatened by the spinner itself. However, the spinner combined with the fact that it is on a moving arm that can lift and control the fight, push it up against the cage, that might be the deciding factor in this fight.
Well, either way, the crowd is pumped to see it. Everyone is excited. We have an absolutely packed house. If you want to come down and watch in person, unfortunately, you missed your chance. Thank you for watching at home. And yeah, it's standing room only around the arena right now. We're going to go to Kyle. I think he's cage side.
I just wanted to point out something really fast. That's right. Mr. Dew earlier today took out Jameson Go and Megatron, 2-time world champion, in a judge's decision matchup, going up against Lil Lash right now, proving that they are supposed to be here in the top 8. I can't wait for this fight. Let's go. All right, friends in the booth, let's call it.
I am absolutely excited to see how this goes. Lil Lash is a robot that has a lot of compliance built in. Normally I'd expect Undertaker to be throwing opponents around. We might just get chunks of plastic flying everywhere.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Here we go.
Fight, robots, fight.
We are off. Lil Lash tries to cut a corner, and cut a corner they do.
Excellent control on display from Lil Lash, but coming right back, Undertaker with those forks.
The hits have started.
Yeah, glancing blows so far, but I have a feeling that ain't gonna last long. Incredibly effective forks on the front of Undertaker.
They do keep jockeying each other for a pin in the blue corner.
Oh, you can see the armor package on the left-hand side of Lil Lash is being dislodged.
Exactly
and,
what you said.
Oh, Undertaker is stuck, asking for an unstick.
Lil Lash seems to be guarding Undertaker, preventing the house bot from getting in and getting it unstuck.
We've seen Lil Lash hold off the house bot before. Can they do it again?
It's like the house bot is deigning to sort of get Lil Lash out of the way first.
They
so
can't.
They can unstick
Undertaker
out.
is free. Lil Lash was unable to hold back the house bot. They have another life, and then they're stuck again.
You only get one unstick attempt. They get off, though.
Yeah, they're freed. But they can't keep making mistakes like that.
No, if you get stuck on that kick plate ledge just one more time, and you can't free yourself, it might be all over.
Oh, I see Lil Lash is starting to slow down. The drive just getting a little wonky. Still mostly functional, but not 100% anymore. Oh, what a move!
Looks like they're being a little picky and choosy with their weapon now.
Now, I notice Undertaker's weapon is down right now. I imagine that's not an intentional choice. At a moment like this, you're not going to spin down on purpose.
I wonder if that was due to Lil Lash's hit or...
Still, a fantastic pin going on right now. Remember, this can last 10 seconds before they're required to free their opponent.
Free their opponent, they do.
Very quiet in the arena.
This has become a control fight where I would absolutely give the edge to Lil Lash.
Ooh, Undertaker is not moving. This could be the end. Lil Lash going in for just a gentle maneuver. I think a count out is going to start any moment now. There, you can hear it. Barring a miracle.
And there you have it.
Undertaker going home in a pine box.
Lil Lash made it look easy. Defeating the Undertaker was a, seemingly small undertaking for them. Wow.
A lot of energy cage side.
I was simply surprised by Lil Lash, winning that weapon-to-weapon engage. We were talking about whose weapon was more frightening. They have some of their weight and some of their power stocked into the servo and the lifter, but even with that, they were able to score better, bigger hits, and Undertaker's weapon went down, and then the drive went down. I do love when the crowd gets into it and KO counts with the referee. It's even better for the driver's cage side. There's just so much hype in the room. You can see all the competitors there. It is a sold-out packed house today. And when I say sold out, I mean sold out.
Yeah, and sold out, I think, days ago.
Days ago, yeah, absolutely. I had friends ask me if they could get tickets.
Let's go ahead and get up to Richard in the pits. I bet he's got some more information for us.
I do, yeah. We're actually polling the pits, so to speak, kind of feeling the vibe of just how everyone feels about the 30-pound bracket. A couple of buzzwords are surprise. I mean, there is no Megatron. Aries was upset by Chonke. So now it feels like it's kind of anybody's tournament, or anybody's Golden Brett for that matter. But another buzzword has been Dead Rise. They seem to be the dark horse right now, or Kazaa Lite. So this is certainly the bracket to watch because kind of anything could happen, but that's what we're all about here at NHRL. So I'll keep you guys updated kind of how the feel goes throughout the rest of the tournament, and then we'll have some interviews for you as well. But right now, the 30-pounders have everybody talking, so we'll kick it back to you guys.
All right, you can see the crowd getting excited, waving both to the camera and to all the folks at home. See how much fun they're having here. If you are anywhere closer and at all able to come down to the House of Havoc, you got to. It's one thing to watch it at home, but it's another thing to feel and see and hear those big hits out for yourself. So close to the cage, mere feet away. Looks like we're loading up our next fight. It's Chonke versus Colossal Avian. I'm so excited for this one.
Colossal Avian has had such a wild ride today. They've come through cage side glitches. They've had amazing wins. Some of the most deadly hits we've seen. Absolutely surgical precision from above. I can't wait to see what they can bring in this matchup.
Chonke, on the other hand, I don't want to say they made it look easy, but they don't have seemingly any hang-ups that I would be worried about. They are a shuffling shell spinner, and at current, I think, the most threatening 30-pounder in the bracket. And they came into this tournament as second seed, but first seed has been eliminated, so I think they're taking the place.
All right, let's head. We've got some info for you cage side, I believe.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We've got two of the very best competitors in the game right now. We've got Chonke, we've got Colossal Avian. This is a very interesting matchup. Colossal Avian is an overhead attack bot, and if Chonke has one weakness that we've seen throughout its time at this tournament, it is overhead attack style robots. Does Colossal Avian have the sauce they need to take them out? We're about to find out right here in the House of Havoc.
Get away. Chonke, an incredible shuffling full body spinner. One of the most deadly robots here at NHRL, going up against
Matthew Zhang piloting a Colossal Avian out of Fremont, California, and you can see that big hammer saw with this sort of, you know, avian vibe that gives it its name and aesthetic.
Absolute blue terror. This robot has been raining destruction from above. They're going to have their work cut out for them going up against Chonke. That is one seriously armored robot. Look at this configuration they're running.
5.
They gave it scaffolding.
4, 3, 2, 1. Fight.
Away we go. That is an impressive push. Oh, it's popped off immediately. It was a bold plan. But they're going to have to face the full fury of that spinner for the rest of the match.
They do have their wedge, but let's see how long that wedge lasts.
The mobility on Chonke is incredible for a robot this size and this weight without wheels. I can't emphasize this enough. There are no wheels on Chonke. Underneath are little shuffling pods that transfer it around the arena, and it still moves like this. It's incredible. So far, Colossal Avian holding up pretty well after that first part got ripped off anyway.
That wedge is doing a good job of tanking those hits and stopping Chonke from spinning up to full for the entire fight, trying to get it to slow down so it can maybe do what it wants to do.
Right into the wall. This is, oh, that is great control from Colossal Avian. I am shocked they didn't use their weapon. I guess they didn't quite have the time for it.
It's so difficult to pin Chonke because it spins so hard and so fast and it bounces around. But
it's also round. Imagine trying to grab a tennis ball with an open palm. That's basically what Colossal Avian's trying to do, and now they have to do it with only one drive side. The left side is basically non-functional. That's going to make it incredibly hard to control this match.
Matthew Zhang was doing a great job of hyping up his side of the crowd, getting them to cheer AVN, but now the crowd is on Chonke's side.
Oh, and look at this. The armor package is just a couple of plastic bolts away from being torn apart completely. Wheels are falling off of Colossal Avian.
Massive bolts holding the wedge to the chassis are now off too, so the wedge is loose. I don't think it's got many more hits left that it can
The
tank.
armor package on the right-hand side, the only side that's working, is about to fall off as well. It's being held together with hopes and prayers.
And now that Avian's back to being the underdog, we have the crowd on its side.
Oh, and the armor package is gone, and it's a tap out. Colossal Avian going home in pieces, and Chonke punching their ticket one level deeper in this, the NHRL 2025 30-pound championship.
Brian Epstein from Team GT Robo Jackets out of Atlanta, Georgia, doing a great job of showing why they're the favorite to win this tournament and the Golden Brett and the biggest prize money that NHRL can give, fighting for the 30-pound Golden Brett. First place at World Championships.
Let's go into the replays. Take a look here. You can see exactly one hit. That assembly was held on with some pretty chintzy bolts, unfortunately. The rest of the robot held up really admirably. That's an intense weapon, and they took hit after hit after hit.
You know, the job of the wedge is to tank hits from that massive shell spinner, but easier said than done. We've seen Chonke eat a bunch of wedges today, rip them clean off. There were a lot of hits before that happened, but it eventually did. You see how loose it is right now in these replays.
That shell on Chonke is one of the single heaviest weapons we've ever had here at NHRL. It's a lot of mass. It's a basically solid piece of metal, and it's no wonder it can tear an opponent apart like that after so many hits.
Plus, Colossal Avian has to pin to be able to try to get a hit with its hammer saw. We rarely even saw its weapon spin up. It's so difficult to pin down Chonke and sort of set up that critical hit that they, got against their opponents earlier. They couldn't get it against Chonke.
No, not today, not tomorrow, maybe next year. That's the best they can hope for. As it is, they're headed home, and Chonke is heading one step deeper.
Chonke, aka Chonke the Fourth, fan favorite in name and aesthetic, in power, in unique, innovative engineering.
Four times the Chonke, 4 times the fun.
I keep saying it. I cannot emphasize how cool those shuffling mechanisms is. You'll very rarely, if ever, see Chonke flipped upside down, but once you do, it's a sight to behold.
Yeah, it's if you've ever seen a horseshoe crab baking in the sun when it gets, turned over by the mid-Atlantic surf, that's what we're talking about. In the meantime, let's go to Sam. I bet he's got something good for us.
Yes, thank you so much, Ricky. I am here with Matthew Zhang, who is on a Colossal Avian team. Matthew, what went through your head when you drew Chonke for your first match in primetime?
Honestly, I was expecting it. I mean, we had the whole Chonke keep away tag already made before the event, so we were, I'd say, cautiously hopeful about getting here, and we liked Chonke's chances of getting here too, so kind of predicted it, and I think in some ways went better than we thought it would. In some ways it went worse. The keep away didn't work, but the wedge worked really good, so yeah, I don't know.
Well, great run this season and good effort in that Chonke match. I know that's a tough draw. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next year.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, back to you, Kyle.
Thank you so much, Sam. Really nice to talk to Matthew there. Right now, though, we're going to go up to the pits and talk to somebody else who has to face Chonke very, very soon. But yeah, check this out. There they are, trying to repair Lil Lash to get it ready for that semifinal bout against Chonke. I will tell you, this design of robot traditionally has problems with horizontal spinners. Hopefully these brothers can figure out something that will work in this circumstance to make it past the massive arena obstacle that is Chonke. And Chonke, they're looking pretty strong for making their way to the finals. They've got this evil little robot in Lil Lash to get through first, though. We'll see if these Vasquez brothers can make it happen. All right, we are now ready for some more Cage 1 big robot action. Let's go back to our friends in the play-by-play booth.
We are so excited to bring you this fight. Two pretty fearsome competitors getting loaded into the box.
Doesn't get more fearsome than Jubileo out of Brazil, but comes close as Dead Rise. I think they sacrificed some of that fearsomeness for, and we're talking synonyms here, but intimidation. That's a wide robot, and it's really hard to hurt. Look at that wedge. They're teched pretty strong to deal with Jubileo's horizontal spinning weapon.
Well, tell you what, let's give them a proper introduction first. First up, Joe Copenhagen bringing Dead Rise. This is a massive vertical spinner with a heck of a punch. He's going up against
Leonardo Montero Labagalini at a Team Warrior from Brazil with Jubileo, a horizontal spinner that really strutted its stuff at the last open event in November, and now it's here in finals to try to win that golden Brett.
Well, we'll see how they do. You can see, as Dima was starting to point out just before we got into it, that wedge on the front of Dead Rise has been very effective against horizontals today. Wow, Jubileo has been in it since 2009.
15 years.
15 years is longer than some of the competitors, literally longer than some of the competitors that we've had here today have been alive.
Not just our competitors, longer than some champions have been alive.
Yeah.
But guess what? Dead Rise has gotten this far with only 1 year and change under its belt, competing since 2024.
Yeah, and they have come so far. This is a robot that has only gotten more dialed in event by event. Oh my, looks like Jubileeu is having some drive side issues on the right-hand side already. That is not a good sign for the Brazilians.
Looks like they're readied up regardless.
Oh, that is just the Brazilian spirit coming in full force. They're going to fight you no matter what. There's no point where they're going to say, oh, hey, we're worried. Hey, please go easy on us.
4,
It's so intense.
3, 2, 1. Fight.
Robots go, and you can see Jubileeu having a little bit of trouble getting out of the corner, and Dead Rise taking full advantage. Are they going to hit hard?
It's an auspicious start for Dead Rise. They're not going to hit hard. They're going to nudge them further up and get them even more stuck. But it looks like they're aiming for the wheels, especially the one that's still working.
As soon as they're off the rails, they're taking advantage of it. Look at that massive amount of damage to the underside of Jubileeu. The silver showing through the red.
Jubileeu manages to get a sort of pin reversal, but their weapon is stuck, and I see what is absolutely a motor smoking as they try to maintain some sort of aggression, keeping their weapons spun up. They just can't do it right now.
They can't because the bottom plate of that robot is bent entirely into the path of the weapon on Jubileeu. Dead Rise takes it in a tap out early in the match.
Look how excited they are.
That has got to feel good. When you get to this point in the event and you can walk away with that little damage, that's a huge victory.
Very little to repair, and the victory was decisive. That's great for morale, not just for the driver, but for the whole team.
It's a mind game, too. I mean, think about your opponent watching that fight. You know that they just took down one of the most powerful Brazilian robots, one of the most powerful robots in the world. Shrug it off.
But it looks like we have some replays of that.
Jump right into it. Look at the sparks flying. Now this, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, and all those others, that is gentle work. They could have crammed in there hard and just torn that robot into pieces. They went gentle. Jubileeu is certainly damaged. It's not working anymore, but it's not going home in 12 different bags.
It looks like they got great mileage out of that sort of grinding weapon that they went for. Not only were they able to chunk the bottom plate and really stick the weapon into itself, sort of, stop it from spinning that way, but they maintained control the entire time. They didn't fling it around and then struggle to go, get a second hit in. But I think we're going to go to Richard, who might have some more information for us.
Yeah, guys, as you saw a little bit ago from the Sky Cam, we have the Vasquez family and Lil Lash. It's pretty much peak tinkering here in the primetime pits for the World Championships. So we're going to give you a closer look at what they're doing, because the bot, well, you may not recognize it right now. They took some significant damage in that last fight against Undertaker. So not only do they have to repair that, but also there's 2 different configuration possibilities depending on who they fight. So they're trying to get it to a neutral spot right now, and then they'll make the final adjustments once they know who their opponent is.
We just found out our opponent's Chonke, so now we're making the decisions.
Well, there you have it. They know who the opponent is, and you guys are just working away. Man, I will let you guys get back to it. Thank you so much. Kyle, back to you.
Thank you so very much. We're going to call this next fight cage side. We are really looking forward to this action. It's going to be absolute insanity. We're moving the crowd back to adhere with local laws and regulations, because we've got Kazaa Lite in the box going up against Emulsifier. So here you see Joshua Reinhardt, the driver, the designer behind Kazaa Lite, this multi-bot of flame and destruction. It has been on the warpath this season, setting bots on fire. And right there, we've got Matt Borez and his championship-winning bot, Emulsifier. 2-time Golden Brett winner in this weight class. ranked number 11 for this tournament, but ready to destroy and show that he's supposed to be at the top of the food chain once again.
Whew. Are you ready for this fight, Kyle? Because this is gonna be hot.
So much heat, and I gotta tell you, Emulsifier, not normally this lovely shade of gold, no, but today they are fully prepared for the flames of Kazaa. I am so excited. Kazaa is the only NHRL bot with a winning record against Emulsifier in judges' decisions back in March of this year.
I think that Matt has been working on some special stuff so that doesn't happen again. Let's see if it works here. Emulsifier looking a bit like a NASA satellite, but I think they want to be throwing Kazaa Lite into orbit here. Which way do you think it's going to go?
I don't know. Emulsifier is very used to that multi-bot configuration. They've won a lot of fights with it back when the rules were a little bit different. They certainly know what to do in this circumstance. It's going to be an interesting one.
Emulsifier, of course, part of the team I'm on, Bots FC, so I'm totally not biased in this fight at all, but it should be a good one regardless. Both these robots always put on a good fight. I think it's about to get a little bit warmer in here with all the flame.
All right, so we're going right up cage side. I want to feel the heat. Our two competitors are ready to go. Check these bots out. There were some drive side issues on one of the Kazaa Lites in their last fight. Looks like all of that has been resolved.
Emulsifier also having drive issues earlier today. I think both teams spent a lot of time on that, trying to get up to 100% for prime time.
The joy of winning all the time is you do get a little bit more time between fights to get your bot working.
And get it all pretty and gold.
Absolutely.
I think we need to be playing Golden, a little bit of K-pop.
Oh,
Demon
K-pop
Hunters.
Demon Hunters, yeah.
That's what's playing in my head, at least.
Right now.
Yeah.
I like that. It's in my head all the time, but that's only because I have a 9-year-old. The strategy we're going to be seeing from Kazaa Lite here is an attempt at the Flame Tornado, the double pin on either side, launching the flamethrowers into those tracked wheels on Emulsifier to try to set them on fire.
Emulsifier just wants to send them into the sky.
5.
All right,
4,
our official has started
3,
the countdown.
2,
This match is about to start.
Fight, robots, fight.
No attempt at a box rush. Oh, no! The double pin and flame is already happening. They're allowed to hold this pin for a maximum of 10 seconds.
Soon. Oh!
Oh, right by the door. They're cooking him. They're cooking your boy.
Emulsifier needs to watch out. Can't be getting trapped on these forks. They're requesting the unstick here, but the robot is getting held up. This is difficult, but they're vibrating off. Can they get off?
This was exactly the right strategy. Hold up the house bot and continue to burn.
Oh, this is so tight. You can just see the treads fighting on the wood. Oh, and the house bot getting stuck, can't save them.
Yeah,
the tread melting. The pin not released in time.
Yeah, that's going to be a big
There's an
penalty
interesting
for
rule
them.
here. They can't be getting counted out while the flame is happening. So none of this is going to be a count out.
This is going to end up being a very controversial fight if it keeps going this way. Emulsifier is down. They are not out.
The flames count as weapon engagement, which means none of these can count towards a knockout. Emulsifier trying to make them pay for all of that flame, still running.
It's an impressive feat of engineering that Emulsifier is still functioning, still driving, still fighting.
It's interesting. What is this? The other robot is stuck under the house robot.
And Emulsifier taking full advantage, going after that back plate. Now they're pin and burn.
Was that the right decision? Now they got two to fight against again.
Yeah, Emulsifier had to get some damage points, though. They were really in that division. Ooh.
Oh, the first big hit of the day. Emulsifier knocked upside down, the weapon not spinning. Where are the belts? I only see one.
No, that's not good.
One belt is strewn across the arena. Emulsifier being pinned upside down. They're not gonna, the belt is off. Emulsifier's weapon is not gonna be able to spin up anymore, Kyle.
Oh my goodness. and more cooking happening right here. Will they be able to disengage? Yes, but Emulsifier able to get back on their feet, as it were.
Some good control here and pins from Emulsifier at the end. Is it going to matter as they get roasted in the pink corner?
This is that double pin, right? The flame tornado and lingering flames in the box.
What an exciting fight. Flames through the pin on the wall. Flo getting held up. Who could have predicted that?
This is going to go to the judge's decision. I am sure some of those pins that were held for too long are going to be coming into play in the judge's decision on this matchup.
A lot of those pins aren't going to count.
Absolutely. But a lot of this damage is going to count. The belt is missing.
Counts. The weapon not working. But with half of Kazaa spending time under Flo for the majority of the match, how is that going to play into the judge's decision?
This is going to be a very challenging one for them to call, and I'm sure it will be controversial no matter what the outcome. We're doing a little bit of functionality testing now.
It was quite the situation on the wall here. Emulsifier stuck, unable to get off, but because the flames were active on Kazaa Lite, they couldn't be counted out. That counts as weapon engagement and delays the count. That allowed the fight to continue. Quite an unusual circumstance.
Yeah, this is most definitely going to the judges, and it's going to be a very, very difficult call. I am very confused as to how that...
It's crazy to look at the configs here as they're getting all tidied up. The long, sloping, thin forks on Kazaa Lite, they ground off the keep away prongs they usually have on the front there and kept them smooth. Was that the difference maker here, allowing them to get under and shove Emulsifier around?
All right, we're going to look at a replay of this. We're going to go to Sam. Sam, what do you got for us?
Yo, I got the BFS right here with that amazing match on screen. Kazaa Lite did exactly what they needed to. Just right off the bat, getting under Emulsifier and spitting that fire. They used the house bot blocking strategy to the utmost extent. Flo was practically trapped in the corner the entire match, and that allowed either half of Kazaa to really just lay down the blast on Emulsifier. Emulsifier, to its credit, took those flames incredibly well. That belt stayed on for a very long time. Those treads continued to work. But golly, Kazaa is hot, and whew, they can block the house bot. They can burn their opponents. Truly incredible flamethrower in the 30-pound class. Adam, let's go to you.
I gotta say, as a Robot fan, that was quite the match to watch. As part of Bots FC and Team Emulsifier, it was a bit painful to watch, unable to get the classic trademark Emulsifier big hits into the sky, only able to get nibbles, a few tosses around the arena while just getting flamed. The performance against the Flames was impressive, but was it enough? A lot of those pins aren't going to count. They were held too long. Half the robot was stuck under the house robot for Kazaa Lite, but I think you have to imagine going into that judge's decision that Kazaa Lite is favored to take it home. When it goes to the judges, you never know, but wow, the crowd loved it. Can you hear them still chanting after the fight was over? Everyone back in the arena now after the flame fight has ended, and I'm going to toss it over to Kyle for more.
I have to say, that was the most exciting judge's decision fight we have seen here all day today. And here is the result, ladies and gentlemen. Your winner, by unanimous decision, Kazaa Lite will be going on to the semifinals. What an upset, beating two-time world champion Emulsifier in a judge's decision. Absolutely insane. I cannot wait to see how far Kazaa Lite can go with this design. They have had a very stressful year. Sometimes they've been able to use their flames, sometimes they haven't. Today they can, and it was absolutely incredible. What a matchup. Will they be this year's 30-pound world champion? Who knows? I cannot wait to see them in the semifinal round. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see where we're at with the 3-pound bracket right now. Up at the top, we've got Cold Snap coming up against Strike Point. Those are two names you don't normally see this deep in the tournament. Repeater, the former world champion, is right there, but everybody's looking out for Jelly Baby. This is a 2-time Golden Dumpster winner this year with a ton of momentum coming into this matchup. They're very scared about this matchup with the wall part 2. It is not great geometry for them. And down at the bottom, we've got Pine Victus going up against the ace of NHRL. That's right, Jamison Go, and his only bot left, Silent Spring. Let's meet our next competitors. First up, it's Miles Sims and Cold Snap. This bot is an amazing shuffling horizontal. And that's right, he's going up against Strike Point. Overhead attack destruction. This bot is so precise. That weapon is so deadly. Sean Becker is an amazing driver and competitor coming in with this multi-bot configuration for this matchup. I can't wait to see it. All right, let's go to our friends at the play-by-play booth. Dima, Ricky, take it away.
Absolutely, Kyle. I'm excited for this matchup. Really excited to get into the fresh, new Cage 2. Dima, what do you think?
I'm really excited to see some more multi-bot action. I really love Strike Point, and I like both segments of it.
1. Fight.
Here we go. Now, Strike Point has had quite a makeover with all of these forks. Somewhere between a baleen setup and a normal fork setup. Going to be really tough for Cold Snap to get under.
They're so massive, and the black CPU color is very threatening. But Cold Snap chewing the...
Wow. Yeah. Look at the damage. Now, Strike Point is a shuffler robot. Those are relatively delicate little shuffling feet, and the undercutter on Cold Snap is just going to tear them apart.
The thing is, I'm not sure Strike Point's really going to be targeting feet. I think it's targeting that top plate. It's just a matter of if they can use both segments to try to set up that critical hit that a hammer saw wants.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the driving. Cold Snap is doing exactly what it needs to do. Look at the drive issues that Strike Point is having after just a few seconds of attack on each half.
This is exactly how you deal with this matchup. You divide and conquer if you're Cold Snap. Miles giving us a masterclass of undercutting here.
Cold Snap has just done so well against overhead spinners this year. Could not be doing any better in this match. It's basically cut off Strike Point at the ankles. Both halves of the robot have just been shaved from the bottom up. Incredible work. Look, that half is darn near dead in the water. They've tapped out. That is how you do it. That is how you take out a multi-bot shuffler in the 3-pound class. Incredible driving, a very favorable rock, paper, scissors style matchup. Bravo.
Amazing job driving that. Strike Point tried to tech using those forks, tried to have an even better shot using both segments to set up a kill shot, but just wasn't able to. Shufflers, you might think they're less maneuverable than traditional driving, mechanisms with wheels, 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. But in Cold Snap, a robot like that, so dialed in, it doesn't look any worse for wear for the fact that it has feet instead of wheels.
Yep, absolutely true. I heard earlier Sean talking about how he basically wants to break shufflers, make them so good that why would you even think about wheels? And I got to say, this is a downside. If there were wheels on that robot, they might have lasted a little bit longer against the undercutter on Cold Snap. Hard to say for sure. But when I see pieces, look at the pieces littering the arena. There is so much white plastic. And each one of those little shreds is a piece of a foot from the underside of Strike Point.
Great point. You were excited about the fresh floor starting here, and it's looking a little not so fresh with a couple marks, but it's not so much about what happened to the floor. It's about all that debris on it.
Yeah. The detritus that is just everywhere is... you don't see that much in that small of pieces. Sure, we see big chunks, we see hunks of plastic, we see metal bits and bobs, but this is just, it's like salt and pepper got strewn across the
That's what an undercutter wants to do. They want to get behind you or to your side and chew pieces of you off. Like you said, it's usually bigger pieces than that, though, but that's, I guess, that driving masterclass I was talking about. They just took anything that they could off bit by bit. Going into the dustpan right now.
Extremely well done, extremely well driven. Just bravo.
Just think about it. All right, we're going to kick it over to Sam, who's got some more info for us. Cage side.
Yeah, thank you, Dima. I'm with Sean Becker with Strike Point. Tough match there. But Strike Point is incredibly cool, and I am super excited to see what you bring out next year. Can you give some hints about what you got in store?
Yeah, so obviously we're going to have to change up a couple things because we got, I think, every single foot here absolutely destroyed. Now, I think there's a couple of ways we can improve that. I mean, I have about 1.5 pounds that I can just send to anything using Minibot right now. But I'd love to make a bit of a wedge, you know, just something that keeps me alive a bit longer, because that ain't it.
Nice. Well, can't wait to see what you bring out next year. And to Richard now.
Well, thank you so much, Sam. I appreciate it. We're up in the pits, and obviously we've got the 3-pound action happening. So while everybody's at weigh-in or headed downstairs, I did have a chance to catch up with the one and only Jamison Go on how he feels about his 3-pounder being the last one standing. He said his pressure on himself really isn't anywhere it wouldn't have been for any other tournament. And as far as what could have been, he can't focus on it because that takes away from what can be, which is him possibly hoisting a Golden Brett for a 3-pounder. So he's locked in, he's laser focused. He is what we all know is one of the greatest to ever do it, and it certainly sounds like that. So while he gets Silent Spring ready, we're going to keep you updated on obviously everything happening up here with the 3-pounders, but Jamison Go, ready to go. Back to Kyle.
We have got a classic matchup coming your way in the 3-pound division right now to see who makes it to the semifinals. Let's see who our competitors are. Right now, up first, it's Ryan Liu with his secret weapon, Peter Garnache, former world champion, Repeater. Multi-bot destruction, absolutely incredible. They're going up against Connor Howard of Team WPI and his optimized vicious vertical spinner, Comet. This thing is a pink blur in the box. I cannot wait to see it. Let's go to Dima and Ricky in the play-by-play booth to call this insane action.
Thank you, Kyle. I'm so excited to see this fight. I'm a really big fan of multibots, and since the rule change back in last season that changed the multibots so that they have to be at least very close to even weight for the most part, Repeater sort of made a name for itself as the first sort of true multi-bot that uses cooperation to combo each other.
Yeah, it's amazing. Repeater's record at this point, 18-0 in terms of KOs, but only 50-50 for JDs. So they really want to knock out their opponent. A big reason they haven't been knocked out is because they are a multi-bot. Each one of these units is just so reliable. It's hard enough to knock out one, let alone two.
Yeah.
But
one of them being immobile doesn't mean that a count out starts. Both of them got to be immobile, basically.
Exactly. They are very close in weight, and you need to knock out more than half of your opponent. So if one of them's down, that's not the end. It's a big part of their knockout record thus far. But that doesn't mean the only way to win is a knockout. Of course, it can go to a judge's decision, and if that happens, it's a much easier path because all the damage on the dead, doesn't matter how good your better half is, if the other half is dead, you've got bad damage.
3, 2, 1, fight.
Away we go. An incredibly quick start from Comet, basically like a Comet from the corner, able to push around each half of Repeater pretty darn well. Kicking its opponent back into the walls. We're not seeing multi-bot cooperation yet, and that's what's really going to be needed for Repeater to take down Comet.
We're not seeing it yet, but we're really just still at the start of this fight. We're not even 30 seconds in.
Woo! Oh! Rocketing up towards the arena wall. Comet unable to get settled, and there's the double action we're looking for.
Here's that co-op gameplay. Nearly a roof shot from Connor Howard piloting Comet, trying to take a Golden Brett for WPI.
Comet upside down, struggling to self-right, but it does it. And now it's struggling to move. I think the bottom is a little bit tweaked. Really struggling. Yeah, take a look at those gouges in the bottom plate of Comet. I think they're going to be calling for... No, they're able to unstick themselves, and they are back in the game. Repeater with a little bit of friendly fire.
A little bit of team killing here.
Ooh, Comet is intermittent at this point. Popping in and out of functionality. That is not a good sign. You got to be on your game if you're going to go up against Peter Garnache and Repeater.
This intermittent function is very scary. I think it must be an electrical issue the way it keeps kicking off and then on again.
Well, when you see a robot upside down like this, it's trying to spin that weapon against the ground, and that puts a lot of load on the electronics. It's not built for that.
The unstick is called to stop it from the KO count. Not sure it's going to do much here.
Yeah, the unstick was called, but will it pop back to life? If it doesn't soon, it's going to get counted out. Oh, I saw a wheel move for just a moment there.
We need more than a moment, though.
Yeah, it wasn't enough to move the robot. This is looking like it's going to start a count out. I think I hear the count out starting cage side. It's going to take a miracle for Comet to come back in, but don't count. Oh, I see them twitching! They're twitching. Can they do it just enough to move? No, they cannot. Your winner, Repeater.
Trying to take home another world championship. Peter Garnache and Ryan Liu. Amazing drivers, separate, but together they are a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I say Peter Garnache. I know he's such a big part of Repeater, but this is nominally Ryan Liu's robot. I know it's a partnership, but they really need both credit here. A robot like this doesn't work unless the two halves are really locked and loaded and dialed in together, and that's exactly what we've seen here tonight.
Goodness.
I
love seeing Repeater fight so much. I love watching them pop the robot up, and then the other one snags a hit, and then the other one snags a hit.
That's just because you like fighting game combos, Dino.
I love combos.
You're biased in the best way. Let's go into the replays. I was going to say the repeats, which, sure, yeah, that works too.
Yeah, let's see a repeat of the action. It started off a little more even. Comet was scoring some great hits early on.
And then I think that's the moment where it all went south for Comet. They got this launching effect, and from then on, their functionality was intermittent as soon as they got settled. They can see no movement. They come back to life after this just for a little while, and then they're struggling to move again. Something has gone very wrong inside of that robot intermittently, and it cost them the win.
I think we're going to go to Adam, who's going to tell us a little bit more about what's coming up.
Thank you. I'm here to talk about something near and dear to my heart. What are shufflers? We talk a lot about them. We've got on screen here the underside of Chonke. Now, they do have their sharp edge protector over some of these shufflers, but this is the bottom of the robot. This is the drive system of Chonke. There are no wheels here. There's nothing round there. This is just a foot that can rotate around this shaft, and there are several of them in a row. So the part of the robot that's contacting the ground is not a wheel. It's several flat pieces inside of this pod. That's what gives them a 50% weight bonus. That's what allows them to weigh 45 pounds and fit all that power into this weight class. They're using the rules to their advantage with a super cleverly designed mechanism that's still extremely fast. When those are moving underneath the robot, it's a blur. Think of them sort of like a steam train engine component just going around and into the ground. You can see several of the feet here, 3 feet in a row. The two shafts, they're rotating around on cams. No wheels, cams, feet. An incredible marvel of engineering, getting them that 50% weight bonus. Kyle, back to you.
Thank you so much for that explainer, Adam. I really appreciate it. We've got quite a matchup coming your way in the 3-pound division. That's right. Let's go meet them right now. First up, the most winning bot in the division right now, Paige Clayfield and Jelly Baby. 2 golden dumpsters this season. It's a lifter, and it's so flexible it cannot be destroyed. They're going up against Ben Hoxie from Team Pandemonium and The Wall Part 2. Paige is not happy about this matchup. She doesn't like the forks. She doesn't like the overhead attack. Let's call this action in the booth. Dima, Ricky, let's go.
You know, Paige might not like it, but the wall part 2 is one of my favorite robots, and not just because I'm a Pink Floyd fan. This is a cool setup, a shuffler, overhead spinner attack robot, incredible forks, incredible defense game, and surprisingly good attacks.
Adam just ran us through sort of how shufflers work, but look at how pretty those big feet are out there.
Fight. Robots fight.
See if they pay off. Oh, you don't see Jelly Baby pushed around like that very often.
We don't see her get pushed around. Plus, there's the fact that it's really hard to hurt, but how do you hurt?
Look at it grab! Incredible strategy, holding Jelly Baby in place.
You can see the front walls on Jelly Baby say, please not again, because she really doesn't want to get sniped and one hit killed.
Oh, excellent hit. Embedded in the plastic and throwing Jelly Baby.
It's not just the fact that the hammer saw can threaten the TPU jelly plastic of Jelly Baby. It's the fact that the wall's geometry and Ben's amazing driving lets him control her too.
Yeah, this is basically a nightmare matchup for Paige. Paige has been so dominant. Jelly Baby has been so successful, but every now and then you come up against an opponent that you just don't have an answer for, and this looks like one of those times.
You know, losing to a hammer saw is kind of the thing that would make me write, please not again on my robot.
Look at these piercing blows. You can see Paige has added to Jelly Baby this armor, this please not again wall that's trying to keep that hammer saw away. It's not quite doing it for her.
These hits are a little bit of a bad angle, a little glancing to get like a really, really powerful critical hit.
Oh, you spoke too soon. You cursed him, Dima. You cursed him. Look, they're embedded together. So much power in the lifter of the wall. And they're free from one another, but boy, the wall's going to take full advantage and get right back at it.
The wall looking dominant here, and we're over halfway through the fight. Paige is going to have to pull out some really clutch pins and lifts to try to. She wants to win a JD because I don't think she's winning by KO anytime soon.
I don't think so either, but there's Paige coming in with the Jelly Baby we love and know.
That's what I'm talking about.
But right back from the wall. Oh, spinning up that blade. Ben Hoxie coming in as the driver of the wall. He's a deli worker by trade, and he's going to want a slice and dice, real thin slices of Jelly Baby for you tonight.
How thin do you want it, Paige?
How thin do you want? Just tell me when to stop. I think Paige is yelling stop right about now, but she hasn't tapped out yet. There's another great hit.
The crowd is chanting, we want jelly. Dueling chants, wall, wall, wall.
We're coming down, last 15 seconds of this match. The wall has been darn near flawless. Jelly Baby has fought valiantly, but really has no answer for this weapon and defensive combo. This will be going to the judges, but what an incredible performance from Ben Hoxie and the Wall Part 2. I can't think of how he could have done a better job piloting in that match.
I don't think so. Better job piloting, though. It would have just been maybe a little bit luckier on the geometry for those hits to hit something critical, but I don't think that came down to skill because Ben really strutted his stuff there. Let's see it again.
Take a look. This is just what the geometry affords, and then those big blows that end up grabbing and throwing Jelly Baby are just icing on the cake. Frankly, even if the wall had not landed a single blow, I think they would have walked away with the win here, but they did some serious damage too.
Yeah, it's not just the damage capabilities they have, they also have such amazing control. You can see that suplex that we just saw a minute ago. That was so just a, you know, you lift the lifter. That's it.
Yeah, a robot like Jelly Baby needs to be firing on all cylinders, really controlling the aggression and the control of the match, the entire match, if they want to win against a damaging opponent. And Paige just wasn't able to do that in this fight.
because Control, even though Jelly Baby has 7 KOs under her belt, Control Bots usually have to sort of quote-unquote drive perfectly to win, because in the judges' eyes, they usually don't win on damage. They win on control and aggression. You have to completely dominate the fight, which she often does. That's why she's a 2-time Golden Dumpster winner with Jelly Baby. But Ben really teched against her specifically.
Let's go to Sam.
Thank you, Ricky. I am so fortunate to be standing next to Glenn Boxall. And Glenn, every year NHRL likes to give thanks and recognize some pillars of our community with a Sparky Award, the Community Sparky Award, and you just epitomize this award. So I just want to say thank you for everything you do for the fighting robot community, for NHRL, and for all the builders and just all the fans. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sam. This means a lot to me. I thoroughly enjoy representing this community and being a part of it. I can't, this is my happy place, the place I want to be. Thank you so much. That's about.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you, and you're just wonderful, so thank you. All right, Kyle.
Well, thank you very much, Glenn Boxall. In many ways, you are everyone's dad up in the pits, and we very much so appreciate your contribution to this sport, to this community. You're absolutely incredible, and we always love to see you in the arena and in the pits here at the National Havoc Robot League. We've got a judge's decision coming up from that last match. 2 of the 3 judges' decisions are in. We almost have the full judge's decision. It'll be up on your screen shortly. I don't think it's going to be too much of a surprise, and I do think it's going to be quite the upset on paper. All right, the votes are in. And your winner is, by unanimous decision, Ben Hoxie from Team Pandemonium and The Wall, Part 2. The forks were too much, the driving was flawless, and that weapon was so sharp it created suplexes in the arena. I loved it. Absolutely phenomenal matchup. But now, let's meet our next competitor. First up, it's Alex Wang, formerly of the UMD Leatherbacks. He's graduated and he's ready to destroy everything. This is a powerful egg beater drum spinner, 4-wheel drive, but he's going up against the ace of NHRL. It's Jameson Go, and the most awarded bot in all of combat robotics, Silent Spring. They're going after their one trophy they've never won, a Golden Brett. And to call all of this action, we're gonna go to Dima and Ricky in the booth.
Thank you, Kyle. I'm really excited for this one. Even though Pine Victus eliminated my brother earlier in bracket, which is sad. I really love the robot. I really love the builder. I really like the pride he's showing off there. Silent Spring, though.
5, 4, 3,
decorated bot in natural history for that reason.
Fight, robots, fight.
See how it goes. Pine Victus with it. Wow! What an incredible roof shot immediately, and then Pine Victus went flying. There is so much power in the weapon of Pine Victus, and that wedge is so perfectly set up for the undercutter of Silent Spring.
Oh my goodness, these are the biggest hits we've seen in the 3-pound weight class. Absolutely all through primetime so far.
Right now, Silent Spring is looking like a red ball on a child's paddle toy. Just bouncing around. Everything's settled now, and then Pine Victus getting a taste of it.
Ridiculously amazing engineering with how dialed in these weapons are, how hard they're spinning. You barely hear them until now. Okay, behind the house spot. Neither of these robots came to play. Or rather, they did came to play, and yet they're not playing. Oh no!
Wow, a belt has been gone. They still have drive on the right side, but ooh, definitely taking some damage. Wow, hit after hit. These are just massive exchanges.
The crowd isn't even chanting for one particular robot.
Jameson's weapon has slowed to a halt. You don't see that very often on Silent Spring.
I don't think we've seen that all day. At least I haven't. Wow.
This is an incredible performance from Pine Victus, and you can see that front wedge is just barely holding on. That weapon went down just in time.
Pine Victus taking total control now that he knows he smells blood in the water and Silent Spring. Weapon spinning back up a little, but he's taking every single hit that he can. Wow.
Hit after hit, flip after flip. Pine Victus is locked, loaded, dialed in, but the weapon has started again, just barely on Silent Spring.
This is amazing driving. Great defensive driving from JMO, but wow, the offense from Pine Victus.
There's the weapon again on Silent Spring, able to deliver a couple of big blows on Pine Victus. It ain't over till it's over. Pine Victus needs to stay on top of Jamison. Boom! Look at that hit.
Alex is not trying to win on JD here. He hears what the crowd is telling him, and the crowd is telling him kill.
Yeah, blood in the water is right.
More hits. Go back behind the house spot.
Ooh, look at those. Now you can see those shuffler pods shuffling. That weapon is spinning again. Pine Victus needs to stay on top of Silent Spring. This is a dangerous last 15 seconds. Oh, what an incredible place to leave your opponent for the last 10 seconds of the match. This will be going to a judge's decision, but boy, what a showing from Pine Victus and Alex Wang.
I keep saying it. Wow, that was amazing driving. How much, reflexes, forethought it takes to knock a robot around, see in a split second where they land, instantly turn and target them again, and even if, you want to go where they're going, but also where they're about to be. So he's tracking down JMO as JMO is defensively trying to escape, trying to stay square. Oh, let's see it again, please.
Here's the first big exchange. Bam! Roof shot and then wall shot by Reaction Force. So much force in these robots.
Because Silent Spring is a shuffler, gets an extra weight bonus, uses that weight to have such a strong weapon. Pine Victus doesn't have that bonus, but those weapons looked equal strength this time. Pine Victus got the upper hand.
Literally knocking the wheels off these robots. I know it's hard to imagine how much force is in here. It's about the same amount of force as dropping a refrigerator out of a second-story window. When that hits, that's about how much impact is happening with these robots. And this is 3 pounds each.
We spend so much time building these robots, getting them all tuned up, practicing driving and all that, just for you to drop a fridge on it from a 2-story building?
I mean, it's better than like a safe or a piano. It's not Looney Tunes.
It's not Looney Tunes. This is the
Looney
real deal.
Tunes we save for the 12-pound class.
Yeah. Looney Tunes is where stuff gets a little cartoony. 12-pound robots, the force increases per weight class.
Look, Dima, we're all a little loony here, okay? We're gonna go to Sam, speaking of loony.
The looniest of all.
Thank you, Ricky. I am here with Jamison Go, and Jamo, this isn't about that match at all, actually. I just wanted to let you know that as voted on by our builder community, once again, you have won the Sparky for Best Driver. There's just something about driving 3 different robots in 3 weight classes so well that may led you to earn this award. So congratulations.
And what? What?
Thank you so much, JMO. And we might talk after this, JD. We'll see. But either way, great season overall.
It was a great, it's a really tough competition. The robots get better and better every year. I can't think of a better way to end Silent Spring's entire career on with a fight with Pine Victus.
I couldn't agree more, and I can't wait to see what you bring next year. I've heard some rumors, so I'm excited to see that. Thank you, JMO. All right, back to you.
All right, guys. Well, up here in the pits, speaking of all the 3-pound action, I'm with the man behind the bot called Cold Snap, who's on a bit of a hot streak. Hey, Miles, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. So you look way more calm than I expected going into a fight against Repeater. What modifications or tinkering have you done to get ready for it?
Yeah, so I had a bot kind of pre-prepared for this. It has a shorter blade, shorter, thicker, so it's going to be more difficult for them to bend it. Other than that, charge a battery, get this version ready to go, and we'll see how the fight shakes out.
You got everybody talking up here in the pits. You've had a great day. Did you expect to get this far?
No. Have you seen the field? Have you seen the fights today? No, this has been great. Very, very thankful for how today has gone.
Even this far in the tournament, some of the competitors are still just as impressed as we are that they've made it this far. But hey, man, you have earned every victory. Good luck in your next fight. Can't wait to see it. And we are going to go ahead and send it down to Kyle.
Thank you so much, Richard. I am the one that has to bring you the judge's decision from that last fight. And boy, that's not a fun place to be. But yeah, we are almost ready for that judge's decision. It should be appearing on your screen very shortly. All right, here it is. And your winner, by a huge margin and a unanimous decision, Pine Victus. Congratulations, Alex. That's an absolutely amazing performance. Jameson going home, but he's already won plenty of trophies and that Best Driver award. I'm sure he's very pleased with the way this tournament went today. This 3-pound division is turning out to be absolutely insane. But now we are going into, I'd say, the most storied division of the day. If you like big names, if you like crazy stories and a ton of history, the 12-pound bracket is where it is at. We've got Liam King and Buzzkill up at the top. We've got a classic matchup, Prometta versus Minor Threat 5. Salam Plan going up against Court. That's 2 former world champions coming up in this bracket. That's insane. And Steggy taking on Carmen down there at the bottom. I'm so happy for Carmen making it this far in the tournament, and I'm secretly rooting for them for the whole day. I'm not gonna lie. But this bracket is absolutely insane. It is sure to be banger after banger after banger. We are already loaded into Cage 1. Let's go to our friends in the play-by-play booth to call this action.
I am excited for this one. I love the 12-pound class, and we got 2 class acts in the box right now.
We got Liam King piloting Buzzkill, one of my favorite drivers. I just love his style. I love seeing that robot move across the big cage. But he's up against
Robocat from Ben Haas.
5,
This is a
4,
nasty,
3,
nasty kid.
2, 1. Fight. Robots fight.
Away we go. Slow start from these 2 robots. I see something has been dislodged already from the top of Robocat. Yeah, one of the 2 bunny ears that allows it to drive inverted is gone.
Looks like Robocat's geometry is going to have a hard time maintaining control over Buzzkill.
Yeah, and the left-hand drive side seems like it's struggling already as well.
It's hard to win a weapon-to-weapon engage when you just seem to skirt over your opponent and you can't reach them from the top.
Yeah, the combination of these forks coming off the front of Buzzkill and an undercutter used to be unheard of, and it's really become a go-to design now here at NHRL, and few people pull it off better than Liam King and Buzzkill.
Absolutely. There's that. Plus the fact that Liam King is doing some heads-up driving here. You know, when Robocat is inverted, it's not as in control as it is when it's right side up, but that weapon is still spinning and it's still terrifying, and you've got to be careful not to take a bad engage by accident when you think you have the upper hand.
Here's what I'm so impressed that Liam's doing. He continues to attack and he's controlling the match. He's getting under his opponent, but he's not pinning.
Yeah.
He can continue to do this forever till the end of the match, doing damage, showing control, showing aggression, and never stop.
Absolutely. He's not going to stop the action for 10 seconds to get those control points. He's focused on just racking up damage and getting control that way, not letting Robocat breathe enough to do anything of their own.
And when you've got this geometry that kind of makes you invulnerable to your opponent's weapon, at least until they win the ground game, which they're not, you have no reason not to exploit that for the entire match.
Oh, look at the damage racking up on Robocat, and look at Buzzkill. Looks basically exactly the same as it did when it stepped into the cage.
Yeah, it's barely a scratch coat of paint versus completely shredded front forks on the front of Robocat. Robocat's going to really need to turn this around if they want a prayer as we come into the last minute of the match.
It's got not necessarily a wedge, but it's got metal armor surrounding the weapon. The problem is it's more effective against mid-cutters than it is against undercutters because Buzzkill just keeps getting under it.
Exactly right. You can see some of that armor starting to come off, though. Yeah, the left-hand armor package, and I think there goes the right-hand armor package. Or maybe just the left hand getting tossed across the arena. Hard to tell. We'll see here in a moment.
We talked about damage, but, you know, there's only 30 seconds left. Ending the fight with pins looks even better to the judges. You're just doing everything. You're winning from every angle. Here's another. Robocat escapes, but I don't think they're going to make anything happen in 10
Both
seconds.
armor package just torn off the front of Robocat. One good hit, and that's going up in smoke. But they're going to be saved by the bell. I got to say, that last couple of moments, they got at least a couple of hits on Buzzkill.
Yeah, but the fight's only 3 minutes long. They don't have an extra couple minutes to try to turn the tides. They got to make something happen within those 3 minutes. I don't want to speak too soon, obviously. I want to leave it up to the judges, but I don't think Robocat did enough to win it over in their eyes. Let's see, though.
Yeah, we'll have to find out for sure, but my money's with you, Dima. I think that was a really sound victory from Buzzkill.
I'd agree. Such an amazing driver. Just really, really dialed in, locked in, and no frills. Just, I'm going to keep myself safe. I'm going to keep hurting you, and I'm not going to stop.
Liam King coming all the way from California, Maryland. A town most people don't know of, in Maryland. He was formerly a big Honeycrack member, but he's graduated, so to speak, to Team Leatherbacks of the University of Maryland.
I had to pull up the stats right now just to make sure you weren't lying about that California Maryland thing to try to take another builder for your own, but no, he really is from California, Maryland.
Yeah, it's amazing the powerhouse that has sprung up around the Hive, which is in southern Maryland. The Team Honeycrack has just got this incredible arena down there. The testing, the tuning, the events they run, all have just brought an incredible level of refinement to the robots out of that part of Maryland and brought the accessibility to levels that really only exist in a few parts of the country.
Such a lovely team. I love meeting them in the pits, and they are really a hive. They all are grouped together in the corner. They have their bee-themed jerseys and their flags, so it's kind of cool seeing them all together. They really are a hive of worker bees working to make extremely good robots in every single weight class.
And just fun events, quite frankly.
They're such fun.
I have yet to see, I mean, we have I shouldn't say that. We've got so many good teams here. Any one of them will help pretty much any other builder. The camaraderie knows no bounds, but Honeycracked, one of the best to do it. We're going to go to Kyle. I think he's got the judge's decision.
I sure do, and I don't think there's a whole lot of suspense for this one, but our judges are ready. And here it is coming up on your screen right now, your winner by unanimous decision and a huge margin, Liam King and Buzzkill. Excellent job, Liam, moving on in that 12-pound bracket. All right, coming up next, more 12-pound action. Let's meet our next competitors right now. First up, that's right, from Team Defective, it's Zach Knight and Prometta. This is a rematch from 2022. This is Luke Grell and Minor Threat 5. He was able to win back in 2022, but this is a very different Prometta in a very different year, in a very different championship match. We're gonna go to our friends Adam calling this fight cage side. I'll be joining you shortly.
It is electric down here. I can barely hear myself talk over the sound of the crowd as we get ready for Prometta versus Minor Threat 5. This fight is going to be crazy. Two of the best vertical spinners in the weight class going head to head, but only one can move on to the next round and for that chance to take home the Golden Brett. Who's your money on here, Kyle?
I am so excited for this matchup. We have not seen these bots go head to head since 2022. Two of the best competitors, classic names in this weight class.
Classic designs. Who has made it better?
5,
All right, your head official has just started this countdown, and this match has started.
Robots fight.
Both spun up to speed. Prometta hesitant, both bots hesitant out of the gate. Hear the hum.
So cautious.
Look at the gyro. So much power. Little hop.
Yeah, that's that return volley we're so used to from Zach. Once he hits you once, he's gonna keep going. That belt is gone on Luke Rel's robot.
A little 1-2 punch, and that is not spinning anymore on Minor Threat 5.
No, the belt is gone. Half of the wedge is gone. It is in a struggle situation. Zach Knight is so good at juggling opponents.
Oh! He's good at throwing them, too.
Look at the wedge hanging off the front of
Listen to the
Prometta.
crowd chanting Prometta. They want more.
They've called for an
Unstick request.
unstick, and Zach's gonna let it happen. He's moving out of the way, and he dives right in and sticks himself on the wall. He's able to get down.
A little more juggling action here. This is all Prometta.
Yeah, Zach Knight is a very different driver, very different competitor than he was last time these two faced off.
Uh-oh. Able to pop off again. Prometta with a little magic trick up its sleeve. Halfway through this fight. Oh!
Wow, to Luke's credit, he took that hit like no problem.
These are massive hits. Minor Threat 5, no weapon, full drive here. Now back on its wheels. Right side up.
Minor Threat 5 missing the weapon belt, missing half of its actually more than half of its forks.
How many more big hits does Prometta have in him? At least one. 1 minute left in this fight, 2/3 of the way through. What can Minor Threat 5 do here to put it back in their favor? They gotta be hoping the weapon goes down on Prometta.
Yeah, there's just no way they can pull this back from what I can see. I mean, not unless a miracle happens.
Oh!
Holy cow, what a shot.
Tossing around the arena like a beach ball.
Oh, that was nasty. And they are now doing the thing over there in the corner, and they are all out on sticks, baby. It's over.
Prometta is moving on. Minor Threat 5 is going home.
There is no Saved by the Bell today, ladies and gentlemen. Zach Knight moving on, baby. It is so crazy, the development of this sport. When they faced off back in 2022, Zach Knight was by far the underdog. That was not the case with their current record, and Zach Knight pulling out that win after juggling his opponent.
I had to look up to watch this fight. That's how crazy these hits were.
Yeah, the physics got totally wonky in there. That was great. All right, we've got more 12-pound action coming your way. They're gonna have to clean up this box of all the debris, all the detritus everywhere.
Prometta with so many hits. And not just hits, pins that turn into Prometta from start to finish. Nothing Minor Threat 5 could do. That's like a field goal kick into the camera. I'm gonna throw it over to Sam with more.
Thank you, Adam. I am here with Zach Knight, who just had an amazing showing in the cage one right there. And Zach, this is your 5th World Championship. How is it different than your very first one?
I mean, just the level of competition first off, but today I'm conquering demons. Luke had my number for a long time so far. We fought twice already, and he had my number both times. So that one's nice. And then I got to fight I got my master and apprentice fight with Don Dorfler earlier. 14 years in the making, so it's just different. The level of competition just keeps getting higher.
And Zach, can anyone stop you?
I mean, everybody can stop me, but the question is, am I going to stop myself?
There you go. Thank you so much. Looking forward to your next match. Off to you, Kyle.
All right, well, we are coming at it. This is the fight that I think a lot of people have been waiting for. Certainly these two competitors were waiting for. When I interviewed them yesterday, this was all they were talking about. We're gonna have two former world champions going head to head in this next matchup. It's gonna be the best driver in the game. That's right, Coleman Christie. And he's taking on the business cat himself, Brendan Steele and Slam Plan, the world champion robot. This is a big-wheeled, vicious vertical spinner going up against Coleman Christie and his world championship bot, Full Court. Who will win this matchup of very unconventional designs? We're gonna find out right now, and we're gonna call all of this action in our play-by-play booth. Dima, Ricky, let's go.
Well, I gotta thank you for that introduction, and I need to take a moment to talk about what's being loaded into the arena right now. An incredible upgrade has been made to Full Court. This took a lot of preparation, a lot of discussions with the rules committee to make sure that this was in fact a legal configuration, a lot of testing and demonstration. But here's the way the rules work as far as weapons, configurations, and everything in between. You are allowed to, at your leisure, even in between fights, add armor, add forks, add accoutrements to your robot. What you can't do is change the basic way that your weapon works unless you have qualified with that weapon in the past. You'll see the same arms are on the back of Full Court now that have always been on the back of Full Court, and at least a couple of the front wedges that have always been on the back of Full Court or on the front of Full Court are still there. This means this robot can flip opponents the same way as it always has, and this massive amount of plastic that has been added is just a very complex armor and deflection and fork package. This is this is a great factoid. The only archetype Slam Plan has not defeated at NHRL. It's never taken on a lifter. Obviously, this giant sculpture of plastic was developed by Coleman Christie explicitly to fight the business cat here tonight. We're going to see how it works out for him.
Ricky, I am Full Court's biggest fan. If there are no Full Court fans, it means I am dead. And I am so in love with this never-before-seen config. I've literally never seen anything like it, and I'm pretty sure nobody else has either. I am so excited to see it in action. I think it's not going to be nearly as bendy as the classic Full Court, but what do you even call this?
It's the snowplow is what I've been hearing around town.
The sled. Yay!
Santa's sleigh.
4, 3, 2, 1. Fight.
Away we
Robots
go.
fight.
Now the big question here is that's a lot more plastic for Full Court to have cut into. One good hit from Slam Plan, and this could be a lot of damage from Full Court, or for Full Court.
This is hard to commentate because I'm just beaming ear to ear. Like I love this fight
Look at
already.
them flipped upside down. We haven't. Oh, and good hits. This configuration might not be the silver bullet that Coleman Christie hoped it would be. What a hit!
These are some of the worst hits that Full Court's ever taken, let alone today, just ever.
Oh, the weapon blade on Slam Plan has embedded itself into the plastic, at least momentarily.
We're out of there.
We're out of there, but that is such a sharp blade on Slam Plan. It can pierce right into the soul of Full Court if he lets it. Listen to it spin. Listen to that hum. That is a perfectly tuned, balanced, and sharpened weapon. One good hit, and Slam Plan could cut Full Court in half. And they practically do. That's the deepest slices we've ever seen into Full Court.
Oh no, this isn't going to look good. Full Court's got to win on control and aggression, and it hasn't really got much either yet. You say that the Slam Plan weapon is perfectly tuned in, perfectly dialed in with how quiet it is. I don't think this Full Court, as much as I love it, I don't think this Full Court configuration is dialed in, so to speak. I think this is innovative and the first time it's ever been run.
Listen,
kind of a surprise.
One of the things I hear from the Slam Plan team so often is, don't change things. If it works, don't change things. And we got to see, is Is the full court change gonna pay off, or is it gonna bite him in the butt?
It looks like
whoa, it's gonna bite him right in the TPU, that's for sure.
No. Looks like another entanglement.
Embedded in the giant red tongue of full court, Slamplan's razor sharp blade. I think this is gonna be a disentanglement.
Are we gonna see a pause pretty soon?
Well, first we're gonna see Flo try to free them. That's the first part of this process.
There's that pause.
The officials have said, nope, we've paused the match. They're gonna go in with the surgical crowbar. They're gonna try and disentangle these two.
Business cat, big old smile on his face.
I feel pretty good about that. So be ready with it. It certainly works.
Says it feels pretty good. Don't blame him.
Take a look. The smiles on the people from the primetime pits.
Everybody's watching this crazy fight.
This has been a secret all day. No one's seen this configuration aside from NHRL staff. You know, you don't have to reveal to your opponent what you're going to pull out in the 11th hour. So this is a surprise to almost everyone here.
I'm Full Court's biggest fan. I didn't know this was coming, but also, how did he hide it? It's so big. He probably put each sled component like in a box or something, just had it ready until the very last second. It looks like it's pretty successfully disentangled, but Slamplan, I think, is going to start on its side.
Slamplan looks like it's cutting the center of full court to ribbons. Like literal ribbons. I think you could tie those into bows.
Full Court's, I don't know if they have the controller aggression to win in the judges' eyes when they've taken that much damage. Kind of the whole point of Full Court is it never really takes damage, but with this new configuration, it looks like it's starting to.
Interesting.
You gotta wonder if it's a good idea to pull out something brand new in World Championship quarterfinals.
I mean, the question is, what else are they going to do? It's a real tough matchup for a robot like Full Court against a robot like Slamplan, because Slamplan is just going to roll right over you. They're used to bullying your opponent around. You can't bully a big wheel like Slamplan around with a traditional Full Court setup.
I would have had some different ideas, but maybe we'll talk about them after. And maybe I'll eat my words too. Okay, we put Slamplan right side up and the crowd cheers. Cage is locked. I think we're getting ready to rock, folks.
Just a reminder, the match is paused. It will resume at the time that it was paused for the rest of this match.
Just under a minute left is when we paused it at. 54 seconds, if my memory serves me.
I'm willing to believe that. Away we go. Slamplan trying to right itself as quickly as possible. Look at that! Up on end. Coleman is an incredible driver. He's going to desperately try to get himself righted. Oh, and then he's tossed up into the air.
It's not looking good.
We've literally never seen this level of destruction on Full Court up until this point. They are able to walk across the arena just using their lifter mechanism. Ooh, that felt crunchy. That is darn near another entanglement. It may well be another entanglement.
Coleman Chrissy says, let's dance. Let's dance, Buster.
This is going to go to the judges. They'll be saved from... No! Oh, so close to disentangling from one another.
What just happened?
When engineering and creativity, artistry and driving talent come together in the box, you get magic moments like these.
I love it so much. It's like, here's what combat robots are going to look like in 40 years when the meta shifts so far away from what you're used to that we have giant TPU snowplow sleds in 12 pounds with like battle axe guards on the side.
Matches like this make me think that you asked a child with crayons to say, draw a robot match. Make it entertaining for me, and this is what they produced. I love moments like this. There's something so joyful and so pure about the ingenuity that goes into these configurations at the last minute. Robots trying to do their best against weird archetypes and...
Weird archetype indeed.
Yeah.
doesn't even begin to describe it. This is literally never before seen. We've never seen a robot shaped like this.
We're going to go to Richard. Maybe he'll be in just as all as we are.
Yeah, guys, that was quite the scene up here in the pits as we all watched in awe of the snowplow. Ben, I mean, you heard the reactions, you saw the fight. Your thoughts on what we just witnessed?
I mean, it entangled 3 times. It's definitely smart. It did its job 100%, but 3 times entanglement, it's a little ridiculous, but, you know, I don't know if it fits in the firebox, to be honest. That said, Slam Plan did a pretty good job. He got back on it, and I'm impressed.
Okay, so there's one opinion we have impressed. What about you over here?
I mean, it's what the sport's about. You got to try something. You engineer. Like, if it doesn't work, you come back with something new next time. Like, he thought he wasn't going to beat it with the normal config, so he put the big wedge up there. And I don't think it worked, but it was working for a little bit. So there's some promise. Yeah.
All right, so there we have a few opinions. Impressed. We got the A-OK. So your thoughts on the snowplow, drop them in the comments, and now we're going to go back to Sam.
Thank you, Richard. I'm with Brendan Steele. Brendan, did you know what you were about to get into the ring with there?
So we were watching work in the pits for probably about an hour and a half, seeing this config sort of materialize in front of our eyes, and so we were thinking, what can we do? Because it, you know, giant surfboard wave kind of looking thing. It's kind of crazy. What we decided to do, and you might notice some in the wheels. So there's cutouts in the wheels now, and I think that gave us the upper hand here. It allowed us to drive the wheels into the plow and actually hit it. Otherwise, our wheels literally bike rack ourselves, so we can't hit them. So that, I think, gave us the upper hand here, as well as all my flailing around was actually bouncing me over them, which worked out fantastically. I'm super thrilled about that.
Me too. Very unique, interesting match. Very cool dynamics in the cage. Thank you so much. Looking forward to the future of Slam Plan.
Yeah, thank you so much.
To you, Kyle. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I just have to call out Coleman Christie. He is such an innovator in this sport. Sometimes his innovations cause quite a bit of controversy. Sometimes they cause quite amazing matchups. That fight was absolutely insane. There were physics at play there that I was not expecting. Those entanglements were absolutely bonkers. We're going to go to the judges on that one. I do not know how this is going to end up. I have my suspicions, but I'm pretty sure we're all going to be surprised. But while we wait, let's go to Adam. Adam wants to talk to us a little bit about self-writing.
Let's take a deep dive here on some of these replays. So something that every bot builder battles with is configurations. When you change the configuration of your robot, what are you changing that made your robot work in the first place? This configuration worked at the start, but what the problem was self-writing. Whenever they got stuck upside down, it took them a bit more time to get back on their wheels than usual. The center of gravity was significantly higher with this massive plow than full court is used to. That little bit of extra time that it took them to self-write gave Slam Plan the opportunity to come in and hit the chassis harder than full court has ever been hit before. Is that going to be the difference? We'll see. But everyone is always thinking this. You know, you got this idea, I got to bring this configuration out. The unintended consequences can sometimes bite you. It's not as easy as just bolting some things on. There's always going to be a negative. Is it going to cost full court? The crowd cheering in the background. Let's sing it back to Kyle. What's this judge's decision?
That cheering was simply because the bots were actually separated and able to be taken out of the arena, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. But we do have a judge's decision coming your way. It's not ready yet. We've only got, I think, one of the votes in right now. But will it be former world champion Brendan Steele and Slam Plan? Or will it be former world champion Coleman Christie and, oh my goodness, no. Will it be former world champion Coleman Christie and, oh no. Okay, I see. They're just sweeping out the arena. It's fine. But will it be former Coleman Christie and his robot full court? Coleman Christie came out with an incredibly odd design. It made no sense, but did it work well enough for the judges? Did the entanglements count for him or count against him? We're about to find out. We're waiting on one vote. Everybody in this audience wants to know who's going to be moving on to the semifinal round. This is a finals-worthy matchup that we got here in the quarterfinals. The driving on display was excellent. The self-writing took forever. And you can hear our judges are taking their time considering every aspect of this very strange matchup, trying to see how it fits within our rubric and rules. The match ended in a crazy entanglement that was nearly impossible for our bot crew to separate in the arena. But I would say Slam Plan looked like they were coming out on top. At least on that last image. Because they were on their wheels, kind of holding the body of Full Court up into the air. Fascinating idea from Full Court. I don't know how much time he had to practice with it. And I don't know if it did what he wanted. I don't know if it worked better than his original configuration. Tough matchup for him, but I think Coleman did the very best he could. All right, we are patiently awaiting that last judge's decision. Our audience is standing by. We've got competitors loading into the arena, so our next fight will be ready to go. And then we'll find out who's going to be in that semifinal matchup. Coming up very shortly, we're gonna have Carmen taking on Steggy. Michael Shore, Team Defective, taking on John Flack from Gator Robotics, from my hometown, Tampa, Florida. These two bots have never faced off against each other. And the winner of that matchup will have to face the winner of Slam Plan and Full Court. All right, this just in, your final judge's decision. And here it is. Unanimous judge's decision for Brendan Steele and Slam Plan. Amazing job from them. All right, so we're gonna find out who that we will be fighting in the semifinals. Let's meet our next competitor. First up, that's right, from Gator Robotics, it's John Flack and Steggy. This powerful undercutter spinner is driven like a demon. I'm so excited to see it. He's going up against, from Team Defective, Michael Shore and Carmen. So glad to see this classic competitor so deep in the tournament. I cannot wait to see this fight. Let's call this action in our play-by-play booth. Ricky, Dima, take it away.
Thank you, Kyle. I'm so excited to see Steggy once again, and I'm excited to see if Carmen can keep that reputation of gatekeeper going.
You got a cage side repair going on Carmen right now. This is a little unusual, but we did see it earlier as well. Something has been going wonky. Yeah, see, that's the power switch they're working on right now. The fact they're turning on and off with the top plate on is a little unusual. The combined record, 3-7 before today, 4-2 today. So they're exceeding kind of the expectations, so to speak. But I'm really curious what's going on with the electronics there. Those switches are pretty darn durable, but the fact they're paying particular attention to it while it's closed, leads me to believe there's some kind of electrical breaking connection somewhere.
It does worry me a little bit that I see not so much hands moving, but more looking. It looks like they might be trying to figure out themselves. It's a little bit different when you already know what's up and you say, okay, give me a minute, let me fix this, to try to have to troubleshoot and fix within the allotted time. It's tricky.
Now's not the time you want to be putting your curiosity to use, put it that way.
I was going to jokingly, loudly proclaim my position on this polarizing robot. I was going to say, I hate Carmen. Much like the sticker says, I hate Carmen. But no, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that right now when they're so vulnerable. You know, robot open right in
Kicking
the
a
middle of the
bot
cage.
while they're down, Dima.
No, I'm not going to kick them while they're down.
Oh, that is a leisurely close to that particular tool case. I unfortunately think that is a sad ending to Carmen. I don't know for sure, but
they're not. It looks like they're not putting that top plate back on.
It looks like that robot is being removed from the arena. Can't say for sure, but I think this is going to go by forfeit to Steggy.
Oh, you can hear the crowds.
Carmen is, in fact, a forfeit. We're getting word right now. Your winner by forfeit will be Steggy. Steggy will be walking in unscathed to the final four in the 12-pound class.
That stinks. You know, I hate Carmen, but you know, I don't like any fight to not happen here at NHRL, especially at finals. It does happen. These robots are reliant on their functionality to get our entertainment and see our chaos, and sometimes this far in, they just run out of stamina. The issues pile up. You can only bring so many copies of your robot or so many part replacements.
Carmen has been having gremlins all day. They've dodged a couple times. They've found their extra lives. But when it came to this fight, their weapon electronics, the motor controller that actually makes their weapon spin, it did not boot up. It did not make the little happy noises it's supposed to make when you turn it on. And ultimately, if you don't have a working weapon, you can't fight your fight.
We do get some dopamine from those happy noises. I do love hearing the robot chime on and go.
It's the song of their people, and you know, we celebrate all peoples here, but when you're cage side waiting for your robot to turn on, you celebrate the people of the electronic speed controllers just a little bit more.
We celebrate all peoples at NHRL, and this is a home to all peoples, but it's a home especially to robot peoples. Spoken as a true robo girl through and through. I really, really, really would have liked to see that fight. It's just, I love Steggy too. It's just, I'm sad it's one less Steggy fight. Steggy's so cute, so unique design with that one fork. You do see it more these days. You see it with Cold Snap, so it's not the only competitor in World Finals with the single fork and the undercutter, but I just love to watch it.
It's funny too, right? Steggy is coming all the way from Florida. John Flack is bringing it up from Tampa, and that whole area of Florida is one of the original bastions of robot combat, going up against one of its long-term rivals, right? Central Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh and that whole greater Pennsylvania area has its own vibes. That matchup is two titans colliding, and it's so sad not to get to see it, but we know who's going to be in the next fight. It's going to be Steggy. And in the meantime, we're going to go to Kyle. He's going to set us up for the next fight.
That's right. It's 30-pound semifinals time, ladies and gentlemen. And I am so excited to bring you this bracket to talk about how we got to this point. Up at the top of the bracket, we've got Dead Rise coming through Jubileu. And now they have to face off against Joshua Reinhardt and Kazaa Lite. But down at the bottom of the bracket, we've got the Vasquez brothers bringing Lil Lash. They had to get through Undertaker, but now they have the unenviable task of going up against the irresistible force, Chonke. This bot is looking absolutely unstoppable today. And Lil Lash, they don't always work out so well up against horizontal spinners. This is going to be a tough one for them. I am so excited to see this fight. I can see that we're moving the crowd back now, which gives me a little bit of a clue about which one of these matchups we're going to see first. And I cannot wait to bring you this action. So, we're going to be in cage 1 for big robot action. The first bot that you're going to see is from Joe Copenhaver, and it has got a devastating vertical weapon. When I spoke to Joe yesterday, he said, I'm I'm here to have some fun. He's got a baby on the way. This is like the last hurrah. Wouldn't it be amazing if his last hurrah ended up with a golden Brett and a world championship on his record? All right, we're gonna go to Richard up in the pits right now. Richard, what do you got for us?
Yes, guys, we are up here in the pits with Brendan of Slam Plan. So, 2 things for you. First, your reaction to what I am dubbing as the snowplow.
Well, first of all, I love the name Snowplow. That's amazing. So much cooler than Bike Rack. I didn't really have any hard feelings about it. I think it's completely cool. It's certainly a smart idea against a robot like this. And I was just excited to see what I could do to it.
You tore it up, is what you did to it. I saw the aftermath. But Carmen, unfortunately, had to forfeit. You now face Steggy. What are we working on to get ready for that fight?
Well, I do know that Steggy is a modular robot. They can choose either a drum or an undercutter, in which case our 2 setups, the anti-horizontal setup and the anti-vert setup, are both being prepared right now. And so we're ready to choose either bot.
Yeah, you can fight back-to-back undercutters depending on how this outcome and the other outcome happens. So if that is the case, are you just going to stick with the same configuration, or?
Oh yeah, of course. It's perfect for horizontals. I'd really like a go at Buzzkill. I want to plink that blade right off.
All right, well, hey, great job against the snowplow, and good luck in the next round. We're going to send it down to Kyle.
Thank you so much for that report, Richard. That was a very interesting strategy discussion. He doesn't know who he's facing off against. When you're going up against modular robots, it could be anything. Who knows? But right now, we are going to head right into this 30-pound semifinals. Let's meet our competitors for this first matchup. First up, from Team Honeycracked, it's Joe Copenhaver and Dead Rise. This machine has been causing mayhem all day, performing well beyond Joe's expectations. But they're going up against, from Norwich, Connecticut, and Team 90s Kids, hometown hero Joshua Reinhardt and Kazaa Lite, the hottest bot in the arena. His secret weapon from Texas. He's got him sitting right next to him, right over there. He's got the chair. You know it's serious when the chair's been brought out. Oh, these guys are almost ready to go, and we're gonna go to the booth with our friends Dima and Ricky to call this action. First fight in the 30-pound semifinals. Let's go!
Oh, I am so excited. Let's go to the tail of the tape. First up is Dead Rise, Joe Copenhagen from Lexington Park. Another Maryland bot, a vertical spinner with a massive and devastating weapon, not to mention a 10-5 record.
You got your Maryland native, I got my Connecticut native with Joshua Reinhardt alongside Peter Garnash, piloting Kazaa Lite, the most threatening flamethrower maybe ever, but certainly today. The skill labeled is hot, hot, hot. You have 2 flamethrowers in multi-bot action, 2 amazing drivers with a 23-10 record. So many fights under their belt. They've looked dominant pretty much every time I've seen them compete this year. They've looked pretty dominant today, but let's see how much their fire can burn up Dead Rise.
It's a good question, right? You never know. Some of these robots are basically invulnerable to fire, and some of them melt surprisingly fast. Either way, none of them are immune to the forks on the front of Kazaa Lite, and if you're getting barbecued while being held against a wall, it's not a good look for the judges.
You're right. It's not just the fire, it's the immense control that they're able to get with both segments of their multi-bot, both halves. What? You know, when a robot goes up against a flamethrower, they tech for that using flame retardant tape. So let's see if that gold on Dead Rise that you see is enough to protect them from the devastating flames.
It's another modification I like to think of as basically an extra life. Now you can see they've applied it just on the edges of the plastic. That is hopefully going to keep that flame from getting inside of the robot. It's not going to protect the outer surfaces, but it might seal it.
3, 2, 1. Fight.
Away we
Robots
go.
fight.
A quick rush from Kazaa Lite, holding Dead Rise back. Are they going to ignite? There it is.
Seeing the flames just start out of nothing.
The double barbecue is back.
Releasing that pin, let's go in for another.
Interesting. Now there's a limited amount of fuel in these robots. I'm surprised that Kazaa Lite's running. Maybe they're latched on. Maybe they can't turn off.
It is surprising to see it turned on in the flames when it's not even pointed at Dead Rise.
Look at this. They're holding them up like a shish kebab. A rotary spit, if you will. Dead Rise so far not able to land any good hits, but they're still fully mobile, still running full blast.
Joshua, how are you going to cook Dead Rise right now? Let me see some flambe.
So far, we're still rare. I think Joshua wants this well done.
Oh, this fire is so beautiful.
Look at the flames getting sucked in, and they're being pushed back into the robot by the wind generated by the weapon on Dead Rise.
So interesting to see. Oh, these are fireballs now.
Dead Rise, no answer so far to the multi-bot action, and I see real smoke coming out of Dead Rise now.
This is the worst spot to be in. It does not get any worse than this. Both segments of Kazaa Lite just cooking you and cooking you.
And the tire just remaining on fire.
Yeah, there's no flame retardant tape on that tire. That's maybe
see
the most
the wheel's spinning on Dead Rise, but it's stuck upside down, unable to move. Oh, there it goes. It's moving a bit.
You can kind of see the underside has been cooked to a nice little yellow color.
That's what happens to this plastic when it kind of overheats. It starts to yellow and brown, caramelize, if you will.
It's like an old Nintendo Entertainment System.
UV damage adding up.
The flames aren't stopped. We got nearly a minute left in this fight.
Now it's hard to tell if the weapon on Dead Rise is down or if it just can't operate because the robot's upside down. We'll have to find out later if the robot's, righted by some kind of movement or another.
Yeah, if it doesn't get righted in the next 35 seconds, we're not even going to be able to tell.
We've got 30 seconds left in this match.
This has been an extremely dominant performance from Kazaa Lite to this point.
Now they are running low on fuel. They're just barely smoking.
Yeah, they've been running the flame really consistently all fight. And who can blame them when they made the target so easy for themselves?
Incredible control on display. And now they're not moving at all. Those wheels are spinning. This fight is going to the judges, but I gotta say, I don't feel like there's any mystery here. I think Joshua Reinhardt is sailing his way to the 30-pound finals with Kazaa Lite.
Oh, you're right, mystery solved. I think the 90s kids might have Scooby-Dooed it. Scooby-Done it. Nice little fist bump from those two. Peter looks really proud of that. It says one more to his teammate. They feel so close to that golden Brett.
It's gotta be so close you can taste it. You know, I know this has been a heck of a journey for Joshua and his team. We have had back and forth all season getting through the permits and everything else to make sure that these fire robots can run, and it's so good to see them in the box really doing what they're designed to do. We're gonna go to Adam right now. He's got some hot replays cage side right now.
At the BFS to do another deep dive on configs. When you are fighting a robot like Kazaa Lite, a multi-bot flame robot, how do you set up your forks, your front end? Emulsifier earlier, a similar config to Dead Rise, usually ran long forks in center, forks out wide, couldn't get under Kazaa Lite. Dead Rise, in their words, went full crazy for this fight, took all of the front off, took the front wheels off, took the treads off, took everything off to try and get maximum weapon engagement, get past those keep away forks of Kazaa Lite. If you look closely, in the last fight, Kazaa Lite did not run the keep away prongs against Emulsifier. This time they did, without any forks on Dead Rise. They lost this fight in the first 30 seconds, let alone the second 2.5 minutes when they were getting roasted. After being unable to get under, unable to deliver that weapon, Kazaa Lite took advantage and won this fight. but the real win was the decision on the configs. No one has figured out what to do against Kazaa Lite all night long. What is going to happen in the finals? Can anyone solve it? Or is Kazaa Lite going to be the first flame robot to take home a golden Brett in the 30-pound weight class? Let's throw it back to Kyle.
Thank you so much. There's been a lot of questions whether or not multi-bot configurations are overpowered in this tournament. And I gotta say, I don't think it's the multi-bot configurations. I think it's the Peter Garnache as your co-driver. He is currently the co-driver on 2 bots in this tournament. Repeater down in the 3-pound weight class. And that's right, Kazaa Lite in the 30-pound weight class doing phenomenal work, teamwork, and doing these coordinated attacks that tornado of flame we keep seeing with Kazaa Lite is absolute insanity. Who's going to pull out the win in this particular matchup? I think it's pretty obvious, but we still have a judge's decision coming your way. In the meantime, let's go to Sam. Oh, never mind. We have your decision. Unanimous decision. Huge margin. No surprise. Kazaa Lite is heading to the final in the 30-pound World Championships. Now let's go to Sam with Josh Reinhardt.
Yes, thank you. I am here with Joshua Reinhardt. You just won that match pretty easily.
It turned out to be a fun fight. We had a lot of enjoyment. It might have been a little easier than some of the fights we've had, but every fight you never know going in. Truthfully, I got to thank our teammates so much. Minutes before we entered this fight, we realized one of the bots didn't have igniters at all, and we were able to get those fixed within 5 minutes. So it's really, that match would have been entirely different if we were forced to fight with just one robot.
All right, one more fight left. You want Undertaker or you want Chonke?
I've never fought Chonke, so I want to experience it, but we might regret that. So
we'll find out. We will find out. Thank you so much, Joshua. Get those robots ready for the final. The final.
It's crazy to say. Truthfully, I was just hoping to get top 4, so I'm floored.
Thank you. All right, Kyle, back to you.
Thank you so much. This 30-pound final is going to be absolutely insane no matter who wins this next matchup. And no matter what, it's going to be a final full of fire. I am so excited to see Joshua Reinhardt proving that fire can win in that 30-pound weight class, and maybe today proving that fire can win a golden Brett and a world championships. To find out who they will be facing off against in that finals, let's meet our competitors right now. First up, that's right, Brian Epstein, the Robo Jackets, and Chonke. This is a shuffling, full-body shell spinner, and they are going to be facing off from California. It's Matt Vasquez and Lil Lash. Two very different designs. Lil Lash is this lifting vertical spinner with a big old plow up front. Hopefully that'll save them from this onslaught. To call this action, we are gonna go to 2 of the greatest roboticists in the building. That's right, Ricky, Dima. Take it away.
Thanks so much, Kyle. Let's go into the tale of the tape. Brian Epstein bringing Chonke from Atlanta, Georgia. This is a full body spinner with shuffling pods underneath, an incredibly heavy shell, and an intimidating 22-6 ranking, giving it the #2 seed.
But in the blue corner, we got Lil Lash, built and piloted by Matt Vasquez out of Newbury Park, California. It's got a lifter and a spinner, folks. And Matt's a pretty legendary driver. He's a legendary builder, too. Chonke is extremely threatening and was #2 seed coming into this tournament for a reason, but Lil Lash is no slouch. Nobody's a slouch here today, but Lil Lash, I think, is going to put up a better fight than anybody's ever put up before against Chonke today. You don't get an 8-2 record by accident. You just don't.
It's true, you don't, and it's the durability and the experience that's gone into the design of Lil Lash that I think is really going to help him hold up tonight against Chonke.
That huge plow and the arm, you know, starting back. I wonder how he's going to approach this fight.
Take a look at this angle. Look at those pieces of plastic. That is an inch, maybe inch and a half thick, ×2 on that lifting arm. That's a tremendous amount of not only strength, but compliance. That can bend a lot before it ever breaks, but it's going to give it a lot of durability.
Let's see how strong that plow is, too. See if it can stop or even just slow down the spinning of Chonke enough to create an opening where it can do damage with its spinner. Or, you know, use the lifting arm to get some control going.
Yeah,
5,
I want to take a look here at the front.
3,
Lil Lash.
2, 1.
Beautiful.
Fight. Robots fight.
There we go. They're running pure lifter here. Ooh, we haven't seen this all day from Chonke, but they're inverted. You can see the walking feet doing their best. These little shuffle pods. That's no help to getting itself righted. It's got to spin itself back to... And Lil Lash is having none of it.
Oh my goodness.
And
before the unstick is even called, Matt runs over to the house spot and says, no, you don't.
Absolutely not.
Unstick is called, but guess what? Lil Lash is stopping you just like it stopped its competitors before.
This is quite a move. Lil Lash holding back a 300-pound house spot almost effortlessly while its opponent Chonke is counted out. Oh! The house spot with a little bit of revenge trying to get in there.
Matt's got a huge smile on his face, but he's still focused.
He's still focused. That's being held back by a thread. But I don't think it's going to get to Chonke in time to avert this knockout.
Oh my goodness, Chonke.
No.
Chonke was a totally unstoppable all day, but guess who just got stopped? Wow.
Wow.
Extremely good driving. Experience in the highest of weight classes, heavyweights in other tournaments, but right now, Matt Vasquez has taken out Chonke and stopped them from advancing to finals. I can't believe it.
I got to be honest with you. Even if they hadn't been able to hold back that house spot, that was an effortless pin, an effortless lift. I think they would have been able to do that all day to Chonke.
How do you make it look so easy? Chonke has looked unstoppable all day. Just like I said, they took out the God of War, but they couldn't take out Lil Lash. He's so little.
He's just a little guy. Let's go right to the replay. Take a look. It was all this one move, a perfect plow, destabilizing Chonke, putting them on their head, and then some well-timed lifts to put Chonke back, there it is, right up against the wall. From that point on,
never moved off the wall, not even once. Unstick didn't help you, couldn't spin up. Shufflers are off the ground, couldn't do much of anything.
When you can hold back a house spot that effortlessly, it really shows the durability of your lifter, the power in your pushing game. Remember, that's a lot of force behind these robots just to push them out of the way.
And the ground game, just to get under the house spot, just to push your plow just under the house spot with just enough clearance, so just keep it there. Not threatening and not pushing it back, just keeping it right where it is.
They made it look almost comically easy. And with that win, Lil Lash will be going up against Kazaa Lite in the finals. Let's head over to Richard right now. I think he is in the pits.
Hey guys. Yeah, we are up here in the pits, Kazaa Lite's table. They are getting ready. They are making preps and plans for the upcoming fight. But man, the reaction in the pits, I got to tell you, was something, because we all had everybody pretty much eyes glued to the monitor for the big snowplow fight. But that one, the second that Chonke got flipped upside down, there was a collective "oh!" and then followed quickly by another one when there was the official knockout. Now, I know Matthew Vasquez as well as a few other drivers and builders up here, and that was very much business as usual for him. Some people were a little surprised that a match that late in the World Tournament happened like that. So I gotta say, there's been some reactions, some rumblings, definitely a lot to talk about, and so we're gonna keep you posted up here. But man, was that fun to watch and witness up here. Sam, back down to you.
Thank you, Richard. I am here with Brian Epstein of the Robo Jackets and Chonke, and that was a rough one, Brian. Can you talk me through that match just a bit?
Yeah, sure. I mean, great driving, right? That's the one place where we get stuck. You could see after we got off the wall, self-right, so he stopped the house bot from unsticking us. Honestly, just hats off. That was a great fight. You know, obviously it's not the most exciting fight we've been in, but it's exciting because that was literally perfect driving. So just hats off.
Well, Brian, what is in store for Chonke in the future?
There might not be a huge future for Chonke. It's a school team. Everyone's graduating, so I think this might be his last hurrah. But if there's a special event, we might be convinced to bring it back. But I think that might have been its end.
Well, thank you so much for what you've done with Chonke. You've put in an incredible amount of work along with your entire team, and it's truly a fan favorite, and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, Kyle, back to you.
That's what happens when you put 25 horsepower in your drive motor and you execute a plan perfectly. I don't know what's happening on screen right now, but what just happened in that arena was a plan made perfectly. That was all of the experience of that multi-generational team of Vasquez's just absolutely demolishing their opponent, taking one of the most devastating bots in the game and rendering them completely inert and stopping that house bot to boot. Phenomenal work. Well, we are going to head to the 3-pound bracket. Let's see how we got here. Let's look at this bracket right now. As you can see, up at the top of the bracket, we've got Miles, Sim, and Cold Snap. He had to get through Strike Point to get to this position. He's going to be going up against returning world champion Repeater. And Ryan Liu, this bot is an absolutely devastating multi-bot configuration. Down at the bottom, we've got the Wall Part 2. It is amazing that they have made it this far. And also a new name in this part of the division, Pine Victus. I am so excited to see this 3-pound bracket shape up. We've got some devastating matchups coming your way, and we might have a second-time World Championship winner. Let's meet our competitors right now. First up, it's Miles Sim, and it is the Cold Snap. This is a bot on a hot streak right now. Miles is driving beautifully, and he is really using his bot's unique design to his advantage. Those shuffler pods, that little bit extra weight, and that devastating weapon. He'll be facing off against Repeat Robotics, Ryan Liu, and Repeater. With him, of course, is Peter Garnache. The second half of both of the multi-bot configurations in these championship fights today. Ryan Liu is an amazing driver. He hasn't changed a whole lot with these designs. He's just rocking the new Repeat Robotics motors. And I gotta say, they've been working phenomenally all day. I cannot wait to see this fight. Let's go to our friends in the booth. Dima, Ricky, take it away.
Nothing but excitement here. Let's go to the tail of the tape. Cold Snap from Miles Sim, coming all the way up from Georgia with a fearsome undercutter that has been delivering surgical precision all day. A 17-3 record has him sitting at the #1 seed.
But the #4 seed is Repeater, driven by Ryan Liu, along with Peter Garnache, from Louisville, Texas. Not just one, but two beaters, because this is a multi-bot, folks. And the skill is seeing double, because you ain't just got to deal with one, you got to deal with two. And they have the teamwork to make it happen. They've gotten this far for a reason, and they're going to try to score their second championships. Again, you don't get a 25-5 record by accident. Regardless of results, I'm so excited to see them use their teamwork cooperation to make some combos happen and some really flashy driving. Crowd is hushed only for a moment, but they're getting excited because the fight's about to start.
You can see them talking strategy.
5, 4, 3,
strategy
2, 1. Fight, robots, fight.
Go. Wow, what a hit on one half of Repeater. Cold Snap going flying short, but I think that one half hit Mach 1 as it hit the wall.
We're starting off big. Oh my goodness. Cold Snap looks huge compared to each individual segment of Repeater.
Wheel coming off of Repeater, at least a tread.
Cold Snap.
Early damage.
Cold Snap, when it's inverted, becomes an overcutter instead of an undercutter. No less fearsome.
Yeah, not any worse of a matchup. Wow. The way that Cold Snap is grabbing into the plows on the front of each half of Repeater is incredible. Really transferring a lot of energy.
Now the wedges are starting to put in a little more work. Oh, but the red segment of Repeater, the wedge is getting bent up and chewed up. That might be coming off soon.
Yeah, that is limiting the drive on the blue half of Repeater, and the left half, or the red half, is bent terribly. If that gets back right side, it's not going to be able to drive at all. It's missing weapon belts. Cold Snap is just taking Repeater apart.
With the multi-bot, you kind of need the teamwork to make it work, but they haven't been able to set each other up. There's been some stray hits closer to the start, but it hasn't been any in a hot second.
Both halves of Repeater have their weapons down. The red half is completely immobile. The blue half is on defense. Oh, and the weapon has been completely exhumed from the body of Repeater.
Oh my God. Excised, exhumed. The red segment is moving. It's not totally KO'd, but for all intents and purposes, it might be useless for the rest of this minute and 10 seconds.
Cold Snap can play defensively. They gotta play smart. They don't want to ruin themselves or cause some problem.
Yeah, anything can happen in the last minute. Heaven forbid Cold Snap just accidentally turn off or something, but they can play conservatively for the rest of this and try to let it go to the judges.
They're really struggling to self-right right now. Normally they have the ability. I wonder if the fact that they have only one of their two forks is changing their geometry a little bit.
I do wonder.
Ooh, almost a lucky bounce, but not quite. But
Not
you know,
lucky
they
enough.
can drive just fine inverted if they need, but they are losing control and aggression points right now. That damage will carry them a long way, but it's not a sure thing.
It's always interesting to see a fight with no pins as well. Nobody's been pushed up against walls, just hitting and the overcutter chewing. Weapons and wheels flying off.
They are approaching with that weapon the best they can. That is going to score them some aggression, or at least hold off Repeater from winning the aggression as we go to a judge's decision.
Wow.
We're going to see if we can get a replay set up for that, but I can see Miles Sims is, he was locked in. And of course, Peter Garnache coming over with a little bit of, I don't know if quite congratulations, but some praise.
Not just congratulations, but a pep talk. You see him raise that finger, you know what that means? That means one more, buddy.
Look at that destruction, the weapon. Like I said, exhumed, I think since it was dead to start with, exhumed is very appropriate.
I'd say so.
That's a lot of destruction. Let's go into the replay. We can see it all over again. This match started off with Repeater looking more like a Ricochet than a robot.
I was so excited to see Repeater get some, flashy combos, which I love out of multi-bots, but guess what? Cold Snap was just as beautiful to watch with its unorthodox shape, that single fork, and the sort of, asymmetrical corralling that it does, alongside deceptively big hits for an undercutter. It was knocking both segments of Repeater around and around until it became time to just, while it was inverted, just take little bites here and there. Big bites to start, and little bites at the end.
Doing their absolute best to that entire
All right,
match.
I gotta tell you, I met Miles Sim back in 2022. He had a robot named Komodo. And I walked up to him in the pits and I said, oh, wow, this is a really interesting design. He had details printed into the armor. He had a really well thought out path for his weapon blade and his weapon belt. It was a really smart mid-cutter design. And I said, this is really great. How many robots have you built? And he said, oh, this is my first one. I said, oh, how many competitions has it been at? And it said, oh, this is its first competition. And I said, oh, fascinating. Miles has been showing up ever since then with increasingly more amazing robots. And to see him take out a former world champion as many times as he did in that matchup, taking it all the way to a judge's decision that he very well could win, is absolutely amazing. And I just have to say, I'm a little bit proud of Miles Sim. He has come a long way, and he already started from a phenomenal place. That is not in any way to begrudge Ryan Liu. Repeater looked unstoppable today, and he and Peter Garnache's teamwork has been absolutely phenomenal since the day started. you see so many coordinated attacks that they just weren't able to get together in that matchup. The strategy that you have to do when you're facing off against a vicious multi-buy configuration like that is take one out and focus on the other one. Miles wasn't able to take one of them out at the beginning of that matchup. He was only able to knock them away and then focus his attention on the other one. But right now, let's go to Sam, cage side. Sam, what do you got?
I've got Miles Sims right here with Cold Snap. Miles, Cold Snap is a beast. How does it feel to just defeat, most likely, the reigning champ?
It was incredible. Like, holy crap. I did not come in today thinking that was possible. That was an amazing fight. Absolutely amazing fight.
And one more match left. Who do you want to see in the finals?
Man, Pine Victus would be a rematch, and the wall would... Pine Victus would be cool. We'd get a rematch from Mark.
All right, well, you're going to stick with me right now. We're about to hear that judge's decision to see if you're going to fight Pine Victus or... And here we are, unanimous decision. Congratulations, Miles. We will see you in the finals. Anything you have to do to get Cold Snap ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well then I guess go do it. All right. Thank you. Cold Snap is a beast. Kyle, back to you.
That's right, Miles Sim is a mild-mannered, really sweet guy, but he builds some vicious machines, and Cold Snap is a phenomenal competitor. We're going to find out who they will be facing off against in the 3-pound finals right now. Let's meet our first competitor. First up, it's from Team Defective, Team Pandemonium. It's The Wall Part 2, Ben Hoxie. And they will be facing from Ellicott City, Maryland, Alex Wang and Pine Victus. This bot has been vicious all day long. He's a recent graduate from the UND Leatherbacks team, and I'm so excited to see this matchup. Let's call all of this action in our state-of-the-art play-by-play booth. Dima, Ricky, let's go.
Thank you, Kyle. I'm excited to introduce to you Ben Hoxie's The Wall Part 2 out of Narragansett, Rhode Island, pretty close to Connecticut. It's a hammer saw with a beautiful shuffling mechanism. You can kind of see the feet in that picture. So unique, so maneuverable, such great control, such high damage potential. It can absolutely smother and slice you. It can go in for one-hit kills. It can suplex you. It can use its defense against you. But he's up against
Pine Victus from driver Alex Wang out of Ellicott City, Maryland. He's got an absolutely terrifying beater bar that's been nigh on unstoppable today. This is a fast robot with an even faster weapon and an even 15-15 record, giving it the number 14 seed. But let me tell you, this robot today has been so dialed in, it's unlike any Pine Victus we've ever seen before.
Whoever wins this semifinal match is going to go up against in grand finals to fight for the Golden Brett. So you only got to win one more after this. But can the Wall make it past Pine Victus? Can Pine Victus get over the Wall?
It's really going to be the whole question, and it's going to be a question of engagement.
4,
Let's find
3,
out right now.
2, 1. Fight. Robots fight.
Crazy speed.
Ooh. I think there's your answer, Dima. Now Pine Victus is going to have to get around the sides, but it can't win a head-to-head match against the Wall Part 2. Face-to-face is not the way. Pine Victus getting torn a new one there. That's what it's got to do. Get around to the side. Use the speed to its advantage to be able to attack literally any other part than those front forks dead on.
That ridiculous lightning speed doesn't just let you maneuver around the cage. It gives you more bite when you hit it. It hits so darn hard.
Yeah, it is such a big point. The faster you spin your weapon, the faster your robot needs to be to utilize it. Oh, the Wall Part 2 has stopped shuffling, at least for a moment.
Looks like its weapon had slowed down too, but it did spin back up. It hasn't got a good hit yet.
It's
Hasn't
Some serious damage here. The left-hand drive suffering heavily on the wall, part 2, barely moving. Right-hand drive and weapon still running.
Pine Victus for only a moment had lost control, gyroing on itself, but now it looks like it's firmly back in the driver's seat.
The wall part 2 popped up on its side and then almost upside down. A lot of mass in that robot.
We're just about to be halfway through this fight. The wall still can make something happen, but with the drive side down, it's hard to use that control it's famous for.
Sparks flying on the wall part 2 as that weapon, that beater bar, and Pine Victus digging in.
Pine Victus can afford to be a little picky and choosy right now. Doesn't want to accidentally put itself in a vulnerable spot. Doesn't want to give up a side or, you know, its backside to the wall. Meanwhile, the wall's trying to stay square and trying to keep the wall and the forks in front of it so it doesn't take any more damage.
They are playing great defense and still able to get a good few strikes in here and there. That's going to help the wall if it goes to a judge's decision. But right now, the damage is what it's all about.
Pine Victus looks vulnerable for just brief moments, but because the wall, now even missing a fork, can't drive straight and can only crab walk essentially, it's not able to capitalize on those moments. And with 40 seconds left, it's looking a little rough.
It is tough with that front fork, the red fork on one side of the wall part 2 gone. Pine Victus is now able to chain attack after attack after attack. This damage is ramping up and it's looking worse and worse for the wall each moment that goes by.
Oh goodness. 15 seconds left.
Big hit there from Pine Victus.
Trying to end on the highest note possible.
The wall has no answer for this. They're going to end the fight forced into a corner by a deadly weapon, flailing about the arena. What a showing, what incredible driving from Pine Victus today. Mr. Wang, bravo to you.
From a matchup perspective, Pine Victus and other similarly shaped weapons, you know, with those big beaters or drums, tends to do well against hammer saws. It sort of pops them up and it prevents the hammer saw from, you know, corralling you into the corner and setting you up with those pins. Pops you up and then turns around and hits you before you can turn around and get your forks facing him. Ben did a great job driving, but man, oh man, tail of the tape wasn't lying. That was some blazing speed.
Yeah, the only chance they had was to keep squared up, and Pine Victus was just too darn fast for that. Let's go to Richard. I think he's got some more news for us up in the pits.
I do. I'm up here in the pits with Josh of Kazaa Lite, and you are going to face Lil Lash. Both of you have just kind of plowed your way through this tournament. Both wins by some maybe unpopular methods, but overall, I mean, you know, your thoughts on who you're about to take on?
I'm really excited. I was honestly talking to him before the top 8, and we were saying we hoped we'd face each other. I didn't get to face him the last time he was down here, so I've always watched him on BattleBots, and it's kind of amazing to fight one of my legends. So.
That is definitely a fine point. Now, what modifications, adjustments, or tweaks are you making right now?
So it's kind of funny, actually, because we brought 4 bots, 2 configured for verticals and 2 configured for horizontals, and the horizontal ones have gotten to take the whole night off. So we're basically doing the same configuration we've been doing all day, just forks, our long forks, and hopefully we outreach them and can have a fun time pushing them around and burning, and hopefully there's no piercing through our top armor. That would be the only scary thing, but hopefully it's just a lot of fun back and forth.
Who do you think the fans favor between you two?
I tend to think people like fire. Maybe I'm biased, but you know, you can't go wrong with a good burning.
Yeah, we've had some great fights with you guys, maybe a few pins that went a little long, and then, of course, with Matt Vasquez blocking the house bot from uprighting Chonke. So this one definitely has some intrigue. Any final thoughts before you guys square off?
No, I'm excited. I was hoping to make top 4 today, so I'm way above that, and I'm just happy and enjoying the ride.
We are all enjoying the ride, and we are going to send it back to Kyle now. Thanks so much, Josh.
Thank you so much. I got to tell you, the last time Cold Snap and Pine Victus faced off was in February of this year in the quarterfinal matchup. In that matchup, they went head-to-head for 31 and a half seconds, where Pine Victus won by vicious knockout. I am very excited to see how that rematch goes, and I can see why Miles is wanting that rematch to happen right now. That's where they both, by the way, qualified for this event. We've got 12-pound action coming your way. We're gonna find out who will be competing in the 12-pound finals very shortly. We've got a stacked house here today in the House of Havoc. If you ever have a chance to come here, especially for the World Championships, I highly recommend it. But you can't come now because we're sold out. It's standing room only in here. And everybody's surrounding the bowl, ready for what is to come. All right, so we are ready for the judge's decision in that last matchup. And your winner is, by unanimous decision, Alex Wang, Pine Victus, to no one's surprise. So that means your 3-pound final is going to be Cold Snap versus Pine Victus, a rematch from the quarterfinals in February. We are so excited to see who is going to win, but now it's time. Let's look at our 12-pound bracket and find out who's going to be fighting in that final. We've got Buzzkill up there at the top of the bracket. They've made it through RoboCat to get here. Prometta, Zachary Knight. They took out Minor Threat 5, an old foe, to get to this point in the bracket. We've got Slam Plan taking out other former world champion Full Court. And down at the bottom, an unfortunate set of circumstances led to a forfeit. But now we have Steggy coming at you from Gator Robotics in the final point in that bracket. That's going to be incredible. One of these 4 bots will be crowned 12-pound world champion and go home with a huge prize. Let's meet our first competitors. First up, from the UMD Leatherbacks, it's Liam King and Buzzkill. This powerful undercutter spinner driven like a demon is ready to take its first ever world championship today. And they will be facing, from Team Defective and Zach Knight, it's Prometta! And to call this 12-pound action, we're gonna go to 2 of the smartest people in the room. That's right, Dima, Ricky, take it away.
Let's take it away. Indeed, I am pumped for this fight. Dima, how you feeling? Look at the crowd. They're pumped. Are you pumped, Dima?
They're about as pumped as I am. Oh, and I know I'm extremely pumped.
Let's jump right in here to Buzzkill, the 16th seed from Liam King of California, Maryland. This undercutter has been on a terror today, basically taking no damage in almost all of its fight, and its strategy has been consistent. Rip those tires, those shufflers, whatever it is, right out from under a robot. A 39-18 record. That's a tremendous number of fights, and a high percentage of them wins. He's going up against
Prometta, driven by Zach Knight. Guess who has even more fights with a 48-28 record? Fighting out of Oakdale, PA, this is a classic vertical spinner, and Zach Knight is an amazing driver who's going to really push you head on and take every single engage he can. But not only is he an amazing driver, he is a relentless iterator on this bot. He is always working day and night on Prometta and has been for the entire season. Let's see if all that hard work paid off in the semifinals.
We'll find out real soon.
Cage side, about to ready up, pressing that green button cage side. air is a little bit hushed. So everybody's saving their voices to cheer for both these bots. I know I am.
This is a tense moment. There's a lot riding on this.
Two of the best drivers in the division going head to head.
The winner here will be headed to the finals for the 2025 12-pound championship.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fight, robots, fight.
Here we go. Prometta running a nice big wedge to try and counter Buzzkill's undercutter. But Buzzkill has been doing work with those forks all day long, and it seems like oh, what a hit!
That's a crazy hit to Buzzkill's side. Not many people get to Buzzkill's side.
Very little damage to the side of Buzzkill all day long, and now Liam seems like he's up on the ropes. Hit one and after another. His forks are bent upward. This is easy pickings for Prometta as long as those forks stay bent.
Being on top of an undercutter is not good if he wants to chew you up on underneath when you have no protection. Prometta gets right side up, tries to stay square. He knows he's ahead, so he can be a little defensive here at this point. Not too worried about staying aggressive for the judges. More focused.
Whoa, sparks flying. Prometta unsettled, but Buzzkill not able to chain into a second hit.
Zach doing an amazing job of using backwards movement. Working with, not against his gyro to step.
Whoa, roof shot! Buzzkill goes flying.
High center
fork has been bent up underneath of Buzzkill. He can barely move. One wheel is not spinning. It's not even touching the ground.
Prometta is not right side up and is trying to self-right, but it's got all the time in the world, it seems. Unstick is called for, and it does work. But I don't think Buzzkill gets any more mobility from that. Just unstuck for a moment and stuck again.
Buzzkill is trying its best to break a losing streak against Prometta. Prometta is sitting 3-1 against Buzzkill. Buzzkill trying to get some help there from the house bot to get that fork out from underneath of it. It does not work. It is able to move, but not out of its own circumference.
You can see Buzzkill trying to crab walk, drawing concentric spirograph circles in the arena. KO count is the KO count stop? Is that enough movement?
No, I don't think it is. I don't think they've reset the count. Oh, yes, they have. 35 seconds left in the match, and I think that countdown is, yes, it started again.
Prometta doesn't even have to take any more hits.
Knockout, your winner headed to the finals is Prometta and Zach Knight.
Our first grand finalist in the 12-pound bracket has been decided. I said this a lot. A lot of robots have looked not invincible, but certainly unstoppable today. And Buzzkill is one of those robots. Just so many convincing victories, even against bots and configurations that seemed really ready for the matchup. But I guess nobody was more ready than Zach Knight.
It's wild to me. I mean, we can hear some of the emotions there. Cage side, that's not the outcome Liam wanted. I really think he felt like that was within his grasp. Let's go to the replays and see where it all went wrong for him. That's the moment right there. He got caught up on the side rail. Zach took that exact moment to strike, did some damage to one side of the drive, and it was all downhill from there.
Winning some weapon-to-weapon engages and getting that massive roof shot, and that was what really was the killing blow. Even though it wasn't a KO right then, did enough damage to cause Buzzkill to have mobility issues for the rest of the fight until it led to 2 KO countdowns. The first one didn't go all the way. It went back down again, counted out in the last minute of the fight. Loading out the cage, we have one more 12-pound bout before grand finals. But before that, we're going to go to Richard back up in the pits. Richard, what can you tell us?
Well, I can certainly tell you that it is that most bittersweet time of prime time where the pits are starting to empty out. As you can see, people are starting to pack up. Their dreams dashed, unfortunately. There's still Christmas to get ready for, but obviously, when it comes to the tournament and the chances of holding up a golden Brett, well, they'll just have to wait until next year. So we are getting ready to wind down. Everybody's loving the disposable cameras, people taking selfies, everybody hugging each other one last time until next year. Everybody, except for these guys over here, they haven't packed up yet. Go home. I'm kidding. You guys can stay as long as you want. All right, we're going to send it back down to Kyle.
Thank you so much, Richard. We've got one more 12-pound fight to go in this part of the bracket to find out who will be fighting in those finals. Let's meet the competitors right now. First up, from Brunswick, Ohio, Team Huges, Slam Plan. Brought to you by the business cat himself, Brendan Steele. This bot is vicious. It is a former world champion, and it's coming to claim its throne again. And they will be facing off against, from Tampa, Florida, and Gator Robotics, John Flax, Steggy. This modular robot is out here ready to go with its undercutter configuration, hoping that horizontal action will be able to take down Slam Plan. To call this action, we're gonna go to our friends in the state-of-the-art play-by-play booth. Ricky, Dima, let's go.
And here, Dima, how you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. I'm really excited to see Slam Plan fight. Brendan Steele, aka Business Cat out of Brunswick, Ohio, is driving the premier big wheel vert. Is a champion before and has the high ground, if you know what I mean. It's totally, completely off the ground, and the 20-3 record shows how prominent this robot has been in all of these events. Has only lost 3 entire times against one of the most stacked fields ever, never before seen. And I don't think anybody's read this before, but a builder fact from Slam Plan is that he gained his driving experience from Gary's mod, the Steam game. Something to be proud of.
What an origin story. Let's talk, though, about John Flack, sometimes called the Boy Wonder, from Tampa, Florida. He has been doing this probably a higher percentage of his life than almost anyone here. This modular robot in Steggy has been running the undercutter most of the day, and his secret weapon is that at any point he could pull out another configuration and hit you with a vert that you don't expect. Let's see what he's got for, I assume, yes, he is running the undercutter to go up against Slam Plan. Probably a wise move, but what you'll notice is he's running it inverted for better bite on those rolls.
1. Fight, robots, fight.
An inverted undercutter is a little bit different than an overcutter.
Ooh, sparks flying in that first exchange. Wow!
The weapon's off already!
It blew the entire weapon off of Steggy. Slam Plan is now got a play toy. Wow, Steggy flying up into the air. We haven't seen that kind of weapon engagement from Slam Plan, I think, ever.
Business Cat is gonna bat around this ball of yarn for the next 2.5 minutes as best as it can. Steggy doesn't have, you know, a sort of fork or ground game or bike rack that it can use to corral Slam Plan to win on control. So what is the route to victory? I'm not sure I see it yet.
The main route, I mean, the first step here is it needs to move hard and fast into Slam Plan's weapon and hope to break it. Exactly.
Just like that?
Just like that. Maybe a little faster, but he needs to stay there. Those sparks flying that seem like damage to Steggy are actually the... Wow!
Oh my goodness.
He smoked a motor controller. We'll see if it progresses. There's a fire! Roasty toasty from the inside. You know, dinosaurs were used to make oil to power all sorts of fires. This is a whole different story.
Knockout.
Oh my goodness. What a ridiculously flashy fight to decide our grand finalists.
Steggy had a spike driven into its heart. I had no idea it was a vampire, Dima.
Me neither. That 20-3 record becomes 21-3. As soon as the weapon was, torn off in the first 10 seconds of the fight, I thought this is going to be a really uphill battle. I didn't expect to see that much smoke and fire. I just didn't expect it.
I gotta say, John was doing exactly what he needed to do. His only hope there was to break Brendan's weapon with his face, and it did not work out. Let's go to the replay, see when it all fell apart. There's the big hit, sending that weapon absolutely flying, just decapitates the disc from Steggy.
You can see it air hockey around the arena too.
That is no joke. That's a solid hunk of steel, and then boom, look at that. The electronics shredded internally before they burst into flames. A very, very happy business cat. He's gonna be purring tonight.
Steggy did exactly what you said he wanted to do, is run the metal components into Slam Plan's weapon and try to break theirs. But in doing so, it was just too much force. They couldn't handle it.
Listen, Dima, sometimes your only plan doesn't necessarily mean it's a good plan.
Sometimes your only plan loses to the Slam Plan.
And that's where we are out of that match. We're going to be headed into the finals in just a few minutes. You can see Flo getting ready in the corner. We're preparing, I think. Yes, we are preparing Cage 1 for a very special guest. Some of my favorite robots are going to be loaded in here in just a minute. While we do that preparation, let's go to Sam. I think he's got a little info for us.
Thank you, Ricky Slam here, and I am with John from Steggy. John, your team had an amazing season. Can you pick out a single highlight from this entire 2025 season for the Gator Robotics team?
Probably both our runs today, because we've put in like thousands of hours of work for these last events. I think I welded a cage for like 20 hours, had sunburns on my arms, but today's event made that worth it.
I think so. Amazing fight, amazing run. Great job. I can't wait to see what you all bring next year.
Yep, see you next year.
All right, Kyle, back to you.
Thank you so much. I'm joined on stage by Adam Wrigley. So happy to be here with you all. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to head into the 30-pound final. But first, let's look at how we got here and check out that bracket.
This has been a crazy day. Kazaa Lite came in and took out Emulsifier in the first round. What did they get next? They got Dead Rise in the second round, bringing them into the finals, taking out the two largest, most dangerous vertical spinners in the competition. Lil Lash, meanwhile, took down Undertaker, and then in what might be one of the greatest strategy calls and fights executions of the evening, took out Chonke by getting them stuck and holding the house robot and preventing the unstick. Truly amazing driving and strategy setting up this final.
Of the evening, Adam, they took out Chonke without taking hardly any damage at all. That is unheard of. Absolutely insane matchup for them. The Vasquez brothers really know what they're doing in this tournament. I cannot wait to see how this final goes.
Yeah, we say a lot, who can take out Chonke at any competition they're at. There's so much power, so much control, and Lil Lash made it look easy.
So easy, a just perfectly executed strategy. The crowd did not like that they didn't get a full-on fight, but I liked every moment of that.
A lot of Chonke fans in the house, it seemed, after that one, but Lil Lash and Matt Vasquez earned that win hard, going up against Kazaa Lite, who has been also completely unstoppable today. Those flames have been incredible, and they've also been using the strategy of holding up the house robot to prevent unsticks. Both going up against each other here. Is anyone going to pull that out in the final?
I don't know. I mean, there's no real strategy that's going to be super effective against each other in this next matchup. We're going to see a lot of Flame Tornado attempts. Who knows if they're going to be able to pull it off? And something that I've noticed about Lil Lash all day today, they've been winning these ground game engagements just by lowering their fork into the ground as they drive into people.
But you know who else has been winning these ground game engagements? is Kazaa Lite. When you're fighting a multi-bot, it changes the whole game. It's difficult. Who do you go after? How do you go after them? That little split second of indecision in your head can change the entire fight. Matt's got to try and get one of these robots out of the fight early so that he can concentrate on the other one for the rest of the fight. If he's fighting two the whole time, I don't know if he's got a chance.
And he's not a heavy-hitting robot. He's not known for massive knockout hits. He's got to do it strategically, and he's got to do it by landing them up against the wall and pinning them there.
And he sure is great at doing that.
Absolutely. This crowd is ready to go for our first final of the evening. The first Golden Brett to be given out in any weight class will be right here in the 30-pound division. Two of the best. So happy to see these two bots here. All the way from California, we got Lil Lash. And the hometown hero, Joshua Reinhardt, bringing it out with Kazaa Lite.
No matter who wins this 30-pound final, we will be having an all-new Golden Brett winner. We've had 4 in this weight class, and no one left has won them. Let's take a look at the pits here. Frantic repairs here.
Yeah, that's Alex Wang and Prime Victus trying to get this bot ready for his first ever World Championship final. He has been driving like a madman all day long.
We don't always get to see the action in the pits, but as a competitor, this is where you're spending the vast majority of your day. Fights are won and lost in the pits. Can you get the robot prepared? Do you have the right configuration? Does everything still fit together this late in the evening? It doesn't always.
Speaking of configurations, there you see the high weapon configuration for Prometta, because they are going up against the big tall boy. That slam plan right there. Almost no one can reach him, but this year Zach has come up with a configuration specifically designed for these big wheel robots. Will it be effective against Prometta? It was a difficult matchup against Huge earlier today that he used this before, so he's got some practice in. We'll see how that works out.
It is so tricky to go up against these big wheels, and everyone is building configs now to make sure they have something in hand. The big wheels originally built as the counter specifically for low four-wheel drive verts, and now the four-wheel drive verts are fighting back.
I love this idea. It was a very interesting matchup with Huge earlier. One big difference between Huge and Slam Plan, Huge puts a little bit more effort into the structure of their bot, into the armor of their bot. That is not something that Slam Plan does. Slam Plan's basically got a frame and some tape holding all of its guts in.
Yeah, what's that? Is that duct tape? Is that maybe that's Gorilla Tape?
I'm pretty sure it's Gorilla Tape. Yeah.
Strong stuff. Yeah.
They've put a ton of effort into their wheels. They put a ton of effort into their weapon, but they've not maxed out on armor so much.
At the end of the day, you only have so much weight to play with. It's interesting to see Slam Plan's pits. The number of extra wheels they have sitting pit side is incredible, and the effort that they've put into it is stunning. I'm hearing now that there is a breach on the inner glass wall of the cage. We have 2 layers here, an outer layer and an inner layer. Outer layer is fine, but we're inspecting the inner layer to see, does it need to be replaced? We have specific statistics around how big the cuts can be. Are they cracks? Are they dings? Ricky in there, the official safety inspector, will give the final word. Looks like he's circling it. That's something we do to check, is it expanding, is it enlarging over time?
I don't think there's anybody in the world with more knowledge on how polycarbonate reacts under impact situations than the team here at the National Havoc Robot League. That was a great shot, camera guy, by the way. You've got the dancing people in the background with the impact on the cage. Nicely done.
Yeah, you could see a little bit of Sharpie there around the edges of that. Make sure that doesn't grow over time. It's beneath the size limit, it seems, so I think we're going to be able to keep going, which is great news for us.
I am so happy about that. No delays. We just get right into the 30-pound action as soon as these competitors are ready to load in. This is going to be an insane final, the first World Championship of 2025. Let's meet our fighters right now. First up, the hometown hero, Joshua Reinhardt from Team 90s Kid and Kazaa Lite. It's all flame, it's all fire, and it's just a little bit of pure ganache on top.
And of course, a chair.
And they will be facing from California and Team Whiplash, it's Matt Vasquez and it's Lil Lash. This control lifter spinner bot is ready to go.
What a great fight we have here tonight. Not only will we be getting a new winner, we'll be getting a new config, new type of robot winning in the 30 pounds. Let's throw it to the booth. Ricky, Dima, what do you got?
Well, let's make sure you're as hyped as we are. One more time, the number 4 seed, Kazaa Lite from Joshua Reinhardt, hometown hero, right next door from Norwich, Connecticut. He's got 2 times flamethrowers. Strike that, there are 6 flamethrowers in this robot. 3 in each half. These are hot, hot, hot. This is some of the best flamethrower action we've ever seen, and he's got an impressive 24-10 record.
In the blue corner, we have Lil Lash from Matt Vasquez, one of the most legendary drivers in the sport, period, fighting out of Newberry Park, California. It is a dual action lifter and spinner, and we've seen him take down every other Titan in his way in the 30-pound bracket. We saw him take down Chonke decisively, who looked totally invincible. I'm still not over this fight. I know that Kazaa Lite can bring the heat, but I think Lil Lash can bring just as much. I am quite literally shaking with excitement because I want to see what Matt can do.
We are going to find out real soon. I actually think this is one of the toughest matchups for Kazaa Lite. That overhead spinner is really well suited to smack down on the top of Kazaa Lite, especially if they pin the back of Lil Lash rather than the front. And the top of Kazaa Lite is just plastic. It is very vulnerable to those overhead attacks. This could be the first time that we see a pierce and a rupture of a Kazaa Lite fuel tank if the Vasquezes really do their job right and get a good hit.
I'm curious to see if maybe we'll see the igniter or the flamethrower damaged this fight. That overhead spinner seems like it's at a really great angle to chew up some of the most important parts that it seems like other robots just haven't been able to get to today. They have 2 prime targets in that multi-bot segment, but Kazaa Lite, it looks like it just shrugs off all damage. Let's see if it can shrug off Lil Lash.
We will find out in just a few minutes.
Grand finals, folks. Whoever wins this takes home the Golden Brett and the prize money for the 30-pound World Championship bracket. You can hear it in my voice. I can hardly contain myself.
I am pumped. Look at the yellowing at the top of Kazaa Lite from their own weapon. They put in some serious work today. Lil Lash looking fresh, looking sharp, like they just rolled off the factory floor.
Kazaa Lite is just so beautiful with that little bit of battle damage. It looks so textured. Goodness.
Textured is a word for it. I love it too, but I'd call it a patina.
5.
Certainly doesn't look fresh, I'll say that.
2, 1. Fight. Robots fight.
All right, some good corralling of the torches have begun. Kazaa Lite getting under Lil Lash pretty well. No pins just yet. Ooh, excellent work from Lil Lash.
Here's the pin.
And then there's the pin. The Kazaa Lite wants a double barbecue.
Not just fire on the front of the weapon assembly, but fire on the left drive side too.
Some smoke coming out of Lil Lash. But only one half of Kazaa Lite going after Lil Lash now. What's going on?
Lil Lash has done a great job of showing control against all of its opponents today, but it doesn't look like it's been able to wrest any control away from Kazaa so far.
At the same time, Kazaa's been controlling fights all night, and Lil Lash is looking a little immune.
One of Kazaa's segments is stuck though over there in the pink corner next to the house bot.
It's getting freed up. It has been freed up. Kazaa Lite is toasting the back of Lil Lash. Look, see, that's the hit we want.
Exactly.
You cannot afford to pin Lil Lash backwards into a wall. That said, Lil Lash is now having drive issues on its right-hand side.
Looks like it might be able to drive straight.
It can, but just barely. It's struggling to do so. Put that up to the driving skill of Lil Lash. This is a durable robot in very capable hands.
More flame. This is Kazaa's last fight, and they're going to use that flame.
Ooh, a good flip from Lil Lash.
That one segment of Kazaa is upside down, but I'm pretty sure the flame can ignite. Yup, ignite just fine.
Right, but those forks are not going to work the way they want them to. You can hear the crowd chanting for a barbecue.
I love it so much.
Keep it roasty, keep it toasty. Keep it tuned here to NHRL.
Keep cooking.
Look at them go. Can anything stop Kazaa Lite? A belt has gone down. That's one wheel no longer powered on Lil Lash.
The baking continues, and Lil Lash only has 40 seconds to make something happen. Has to make something happen to at least one segment of the mini-bot, the multi-bot.
Oh, and now it's caught fire internally. Something caught there for a moment.
You do see smoke still coming out of Lil Lash.
I can see rubber has started to drip from the plastic pulleys on Lil Lash.
Damage from these flames just accumulates and accumulates.
We will be going to a judge's decision, but boy, oh, and another belt has come loose from Lil Lash. Parts are being shed.
Just magnificent fire for the full 3 minutes.
This will be going to a judge's decision. Let's see what we can see.
So beautiful to watch. I feel like a cave woman. There's nothing more beautiful than fire.
Let's go into replays.
See some of that beautiful action again.
Off to a great start. This is really where multi-bots just come in so clutch. The ability to have one pin and double the damage, especially for a flame system.
Being able to cook not just the front, but the side is so massive for being able to accumulate damage on their weapon. See, eventually the drive side lost an entire belt. It's so hard for your entire complicated, well-engineered assembly to stay in place after it's just tanking fire for full 10-second pins and even some more.
You can see the emotion cage side. This has been a long journey for the Kazaa Lite team. Team 90s Kids has been through the ringer as we've gone back and forth with local regulations to make sure that Flame is allowed in our large arena. I know this is an emotional night for Joshua. It must be intense to be sitting here waiting for a judge's decision after a match like that. Take a look, more than just young fans, that's Peter's young daughter. She looks very focused.
I don't blame her. Joining her, there's a lot of young fans of the sport in the crowd who love to see the beautiful action all day. You can hear the chanting still. Just because the fight is over doesn't mean the excitement ends. Peter just breathing a sigh. Just like you said, it's been a long journey for this robot. A long journey for Peter as a builder, as a pilot, as a pillar of the community.
He's been such a support to Joshua, who, you know, is Joshua is the heart behind this, and then Peter has been kind of the muscle to keep Joshua focused, to give him the backup that he needs.
They work well together.
To get to this point in the competition.
Peter, you get misty-eyed. You're going to make me cry too. Come on.
Emotions run high with these robots, and now we're just waiting for the judges to weigh in. You can see the crowd is eagerly awaiting this judge's decision as well.
Let's see just a little more cheering while we wait. Hype never stops here at the House of Havoc. Just one more broomstick chance for our cage managers cleaning up the big cage, because there's another fight that's got to take place there.
Yeah, the cage is not done, even if the two robots that we just saw might be. Well, more than might be. They are. Win, lose, or draw. Well, no draw. Win or lose. Those two robots are done. It's all about the judge's decision now. Let's go to Sam.
Thank you. I am here at the BFS with both the finalists in the 30-pound class as we are waiting for this decision. And the decision is in. And here we have it. Your winner, Kazaa Lite, the 30-pound champion.
We did it. I can't believe it.
Joshua, what an up and down season. Can you talk to the whole ride?
It started off so great, or it started off with a big bang in February where our top plate half our bot got ripped off, and we're like, we never want that to happen again. Added more welds, and since then, it's been a crazy run. It just so happened that fire stopped getting used halfway through this great run. But even without fire, we stayed in it. We wanted to find some way to keep fighting and get practice, and I think it paid off, because here we are, fire's back, and it turns out Kazaa's a lot better with fire.
And Joshua, are you going to come back next year to defend the title?
You know it. I just can't believe we're going to have a poster, a banner over there. That's worth I don't care about the money. I want the banner and the...
Well, that's not all you're going to have, because you've got yourself a golden Brett. Here you go. Hold it high.
That's absolutely incredible. Fire can win world championships at that 30-pound weight class. Amazing job.
Not just fire, but a full multi-bot fire robot taking home the 30-pound world championship.
Absolutely. Just an incredible performance by Joshua Reinhardt. An amazing robot in Kazaa Lite, and a little bit of Garnache on top, you know? Just a little Peter Garnache on top.
Great driving, as always, extremely controlled, exactly what they needed to do, and there was nothing Lil Lash could do in defense. The robot just slowly kind of falling apart before their eyes. Let's go to Richard in the pits for an update.
Yes, and what an update I have for you guys. You'll probably want to hit the sky cam for this. The table over my right shoulder, that's Prometta. They had everything put together. They were frantically working. Then they took it into the test box, and they were having left side drive issues. So I'm being given a few thumbs up from those that have been around the table, but right now they took it in there. It was not functioning, and so now they are trying to get the left side drive to work for their upcoming fight. So as we get more information, we'll let you guys know. But for right now, there's a few people giving me the thumbs up that they've got it sorted out. So right now, it's just a matter of hoping, wishing, and waiting. And we'll send it back down to you guys.
It's like they say, they're just putting the top on.
It's why it's so valuable to be here with a giant team of people to help when stuff like that comes up. It's just an invaluable resource to have that many smart people with tools and capable hands to help you out with your robot.
It's great to see this action in the pits. Thank you, Richard, for finding that. Hopefully they get it back together and we can get 100% Prometta in the finals.
That's what we all want to see. Prometta with that amazing new configuration that they're using for these big wheeled robots. He rebuilt the entire robot just with big wheels in mind.
And this is a tense situation. You're under the gun, you're under the clock. There's a countdown. If you don't finish this in time, you're disqualified.
Yeah, you just don't get to compete in the championship. And you just hand it off.
Your hands kind of don't work the way they usually work in these types of situations. Look how tiny these wires are, how jam-packed the interior of this robot is. If you've never built one of these before, there isn't a millimeter of free space inside of a well-designed robot in the finals at NHRL. And you've got to get this thing back together under the gun with a camera over your back.
Something that they don't talk about is that fine motor skills and large adrenaline dumps do not go well together. You've got to be able to maintain your cool and maintain your composure at the end of the night when you have been stressed out all day, probably not eating enough, definitely not drinking enough water.
We've been here over 12 hours now.
Oh, yeah. And many people got here earlier than that. A bunch of competitors were here late last night, still working on their robots. It is a devastating place to be in. Right now, though, we're going to go to our 3-pound final. Let's check out this bracket to see how we got here.
Cold Snap taking out Strike Point, and then in sort of a stunning victory, defeating Repeater to make it to the final.
World champion Repeater, absolutely insane. Down at the bottom of the bracket, we have Jelly Baby falling to the wall, part 2. Gotta love that. They will be taking on Pine Victus, who had their own upset, taking out Silent Spring. That's right, 2 of the upset kings going head-to-head, and now your winner, Pine Victus, they will be going up against this matchup at the beginning. So here we go. Our first competitor from Smyrna, Georgia, it's Miles Sim and Cold Snap. Just one of the nicest, most mild-mannered, deadly bot drivers you've ever seen in your entire life.
And what a beautiful robot.
He will be facing from Ellicott City, Maryland, it's Alex Wang and Pine Victus! This robot has been just devastating all day long. This smothering drive style has been impossible to fight against.
A super well-oiled, dialed-in machine.
I am so excited to see this matchup. 2 very different design ethos, 2 very good drivers, and your 3-pound world championships coming to you right now. Oh, we've got a continuing situation up in the pits.
Oh, Prometta is struggling.
I'm hearing they actually started to come downstairs, but Ricky, I hear you have more information.
Yeah, they brought this downstairs, and it sounds as though they were a little bit early and had some serious major issues that could only be properly addressed in the pits. They were given a little bit of a leniency here. They're doing their best. You can hear them. Oh, I see wheels moving. They're doing their best to power cycle here. That key going into the major power switch. Not good form there, driving on a table. But we're going to go to cage 2. 12 people were in that pit trying to help. In the meantime, let's go into this tail of the tape.
We're going to take it away with Cold Snap, driven by Miles Sim out of Smyrna, Georgia. An undercutter, maybe the best ever, about to prove that he might be the best ever undercutter in 3 pounds. Very precise hits, and it's really, 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 really good at getting to the side, behind. 18-3 record proves that it's also really, really tough to kill. It's really hard to pin down. It's got an unorthodox shape, often running a single fork on one side, asymmetrical, super hard to deal with. Very hard to deal with the weapon, very hard to deal with the geometry, very hard to deal with Miles driving.
Well, we are going to see how that works out. I know we're trying hard. We got young Mr. Wang sitting cage side with Pine Victus. He's going to do his best to take out Cold.
1. Fight. Robots fight.
Whoa, a huge hit right off the bat.
Pine Victus hurt itself in its confusion.
Oh, the wedge on the bottom of Pine Victus already starting to bend up from those intense hits.
Oh,
wow!
They're trading haymakers, absolutely.
Back and forth.
Oh my goodness.
So much energy in Pine Victus, and they're just delivering these blows so effectively. Cold Snap holding up very nicely, though. It has been unstoppable in terms of its weapon functionality all day.
I love seeing both these robots bounce around. They really are putting their full force into every single hit. Pine Victus isn't able to use its speed to get the massive bite that it's been getting in previous fights. Cold Snap might have the edge if Pine Victus can't, sprint at you from one side of the arena. It's getting that precision control, getting those hits to the side and the back. I don't think Pine Victus has taken a lot of hits to the back today, but it's taking them now.
Now that undercutter is just so good at doing that. You can deliver hits as you're getting around your opponent. Back and forth. Both of these robots just go flying backwards when a good connection happens.
That belt that you see on the ground, that's from Pine Victus' left drive. They don't seem that much worse off for wear for it right now, though.
Pine Victus going flying into the wall, losing a front axle. Oh no, not a front axle. It's it's half of the front plow mounted.
The plow is still safe for now.
I don't think it's safe at all. I think it's one good hit away from being torn apart.
Wow.
But they are making the best use of it possible now.
Are we starting to see the damage accumulate too much on Cold Snap's side? I think we are.
I think you're right. I think you're right, Dima. That weapon is slowing to a crawl, and Pine Victus is taking full advantage.
Now who's getting hit on the backside, Buster?
Now the shufflers are slowing to a crawl, and the weapon is spinning.
No mobility left.
Only intermittently. This is Pine Victus getting Cold Snap on the ropes. He's calling for an unstick.
Doesn't seem to help the shufflers any.
Miles is desperate for anything that can get him back in the game, but it's not seeming to work.
Miles has 35 seconds to maybe get saved by the bell.
He's shaking his head no. He does not look enthusiastic. He knows he's one good hit from Pine Victus away from defeat.
Pine Victus, your Marylander, scoring 20 seconds to maybe get one more good hit, or he's just going to let the KO count happen.
I think the KO count is coming. That robot is barely moving. Pine Victus laying in wait in case its opponent moves an inch.
And we have our 3-pound world champion.
All smiles. A lot of energy in the bowl right now. Arena side, we've got some pumped competitors. We've got some really pumped fans. What an energetic match to finish out the 2025 season and to end in a knockout.
You couldn't ask for a better grand finals. It's the classic vert versus horizontal matchup. Let's see some of those hits again.
So right from the beginning, Cold Snap is just sent skyward, but then Cold Snap is getting it, getting its punches in too. Pine Victus took some heavy damage, some of the biggest damage that we've seen all day inflicted upon this robot, but it never gave up. It kept going, it kept dealing out haymaker after haymaker.
Pine Victus lost its belt first, but it didn't suffer the majority of the mobility issues. Cold Snap eventually accumulated damage. I think credit goes to the wedge, Pine Victus's weapon assembly that stayed tough throughout all those weapon-to-weapon engages, and the fact that Cold Snap's weapon and shufflers, I think, took some weird geometry hits because it spent a lot of that fight inverted. It took damage from a lot of different angles and some pretty bad angles.
I am so impressed. This is this retired leatherback from the University of Maryland team who's gone off as a free agent has just taken home an incredible win. Look at the crowd. They are pumped too. Everyone is happy for this man. Alex Wang has earned himself a place in the hallowed halls of NHRL's just Hall of Victors. We're going to be going cage side soon. I think we've got Adam and Kyle now ready to take it away.
Two fresh faces in the world championship scene in the 3-pound division. What a banger of a matchup.
I've got one word, wow.
Absolutely back and forth, amazing hits. It ends in a knockout. That's all the things you want for a world championship fight.
A knockout with single-digit seconds left on the clock.
So much drama, so amazing. Let's go see Sam with the winner. Sam.
Thank you, Kyle. I am here with Alex Wang, the winner of the 3-pound match. And Alex, I didn't see that coming. Did you see that coming?
I just put in a lot of hard work, and I knew I could robot, and I just did the best that I could. So, yeah, I really just tried a lot.
And do you think people are going to sleep on you in the future?
Historically, I haven't had a great record, but I hope that people can be scared of me, and yeah, I'm coming for you.
All right, well, I am so excited for you to take this golden Brett. Hold it high, Alex.
Well, that's the making of a star right there. Alex Wang taking home the World Championships for 2025 in the most competitive 3-pound bracket in the entire world, right here at NHRL.
Love that confidence. There's a new bot on the scene next year. No one is going to underestimate a Golden Brett winner.
Absolutely, and what a feather in the cap for the UMD Leatherbacks team. They graduated from that school recently. But right now, we are going to get into the craziest bracket of the day, the 12-pound division.
There's one more fight left tonight. How did they get here? Prometta took out Minor Threat 5 in an insane fight, sending them flying around the arena, and then did it again to Buzzkill to make it to the finals against Slam Plan.
Slam Plan, former world champion, absolutely incredible robot. But Zach Knight, at the beginning of this season, was operating levels above everyone else in the game. We saw some variation in his game plans this season. We saw him trying some new things, but he has been driving absolutely beautifully all season long. But right now, we're gonna see how he's doing upstairs in the pits. Richard, what's going on?
I'll tell you what's going on. Everybody is breathing a collective sigh of relief. Prometta is headed downstairs. They were in and out of the box 2 or 3 times. There was a lot of frustration, some words I can't repeat on the live broadcast, but nonetheless, whatever the drive or other issues they may have had in that time have been resolved. They just weighed in and they just went around the corner downstairs. There was an applause once they came out of the box the final time. So Prometta headed downstairs for their championship match. We are a go for the fight.
All right, well, we are going to introduce the last fight of the day. It's the 12-pound division. It's been full of just devastating fights, huge knockouts all day. What are we going to see in this World Championship final? Coming up first, it's from Team Defective, Zach Knight and Prometta.
They are looking stone cold and ready to take this fight on.
And they will be facing from Brunswick, Ohio. It's Brendan Steele, the business cat himself, and Slam Plan. They're kind of a big deal.
Will they take home another Golden Brett?
They hit the scene so hard last year. Let's see how hard they can hit Prometta today. We're going to call this action from our state-of-the-art play-by-play booth. Ricky, Dima, let's go.
Let's go indeed. We're going to jump right into it. The number 4 seed, Prometta from Zach Knight, coming from Oakdale, Pennsylvania. This is a classic vertical spinner with so much experience, a 49-28 record, and he is fierce, taking it head-to-head, fist-to-fist, incredibly aggressive and surgical driving.
Brendan Steele, aka Business Cat, is piloting Slam Plan out of Brunswick, Ohio. It's a big wheel vert, a very classic style big wheel vert, who often gets the high ground against his opponents. He has 28 less wins than Zach Knight, but guess what? He's got 25 less losses too. Let's see if that experience matters, or is it all the way down to archetypes, matchups, and some innovative engineering? I can't wait.
We're going to find out in just a minute. That 21-3 record, though. Boy, oh boy. And I gotta say, no one in this building has earned it more than Brendan Steele. The engineering and driving on these robots has just been locked in from day one.
This makes you wonder, do you really need the experience from all those losses? He keeps making it this far. He's only lost 3 times at NHRL. My goodness.
Absolutely wild. We can't forget he's on Team Huge. He's got some of the best, in fact, the best big wheel drivers in the world giving him advice. That's got to be
2, 1, fight. Robots
Away we go.
fight.
Very quick spin up on Slam Plan. No movement from Prometta.
Prometta movement.
Oh! I heard some good crunch there. A big piece of steel now missing from the top of Prometta. One of its little bunny ears. Ripped off.
We see some treads coming off a Slam Plan.
Yeah, a giant hole in one of Slam Plan's wheels. Oh, Slam Plan is almost torn in half.
Slam Plan.
It's barely spinning. The battery is laying there in the arena.
It's all over
Incredible
already.
Carnage. Zach Knight is celebrating immediately.
Oh my God. Slam Plan looks so not invincible, but unstoppable all day. And Zach Knight only needed a few hits to take that. Haven't heard even the official KO yet, but there it is.
What a way to celebrate your 50th win here at NHRL with not just a golden dumpster, but a golden Brett! Every single Golden Brett winner that we've had here today is a first-timer. This is a changing of the guard. This is fresh blood. This is new talent. This is an entire year's worth of hard work crystallized in 3 enormous wins here at NHRL for the 2025 championship. Let's go right into the replays. I've got to relive this. You can see a slow start, a cautious start from Prometta. He seemed like he got the worst of that exchange.
Just because you get the worst of the first exchange doesn't mean you get the worst of the next two.
No, that second hit is all it took. Look, split right down the middle of one of the drive pods with a follow-up hit.
It's deceptive. You want to target the wheels, right? But sometimes when you hit the blade in the center where everything is attached, the 2 segments of the chassis attached to it, big wheel might split in half.
These robots are enormous. Brendan has counted on that robot being out of reach of the weapons of so many of its opponents. When Zach shows up with a blade that can reach those squishy underbelly parts, it's all over for Slam Plan.
All that tech, all that iterating, all that experience throughout the entire season, and Zach is going around hugging and thanking everybody who's helped him get this far.
Just incredible. So hard won, so well deserved. Zach has put in just the blood, sweat, and tears over and over again. He and Team Defective have just, they have grind. Like, they're the definition of grind here at NHRL. It's all coming together for him tonight.
Before he holds up that golden bread, he's holding up his bot. He's so proud. But let's go to Kyle and Adam, who can tell us a little bit more about what they thought of the grand finals for the 12-pound division.
Zach Knight, the patriarch of Team Defective, operating levels above all season.
What just happened?
He tried a brand new configuration and it paid off. We saw the lowest lows up in the pits. We saw the highest highs. Look at the damage.
We talked about earlier, everyone is running new configs to take on these big wheel robots. Sometimes they don't work, sometimes they do. What an amazing fight, an amazing ending after stunningly getting it back together in time in the pits. The team is coming over. They're ready to accept their golden Brett.
Zach's instinctual driving is just beyond in this tournament. It's so amazing. He deserves every last bit of this much damage done
no
to
frame.
the last world champion.
Where'd the frame go?
All right, we are just gonna go right now to Sam. There's only one thing left to do tonight.
Thank you, Kyle. I am here with the 12-pound champion, Zach Knight. Zach, you've had a day of ups and downs, a season of ups and downs, a career of ups and downs. How did you get to this point?
I don't know, dude. This year was something different. Between just running around, we ran all over the country this year, and I ended up with like 8 podiums on the year. I don't think I'll ever match this, but this year was just a magical run, and it just all culminated right here.
How does it feel knowing the special config you put in so much work on absolutely paid off?
It means the world, and I mean, I got to shout out Bob Balanson. That's his idea. I ripped it off. He helped me make it. That is his. He deserves that credit, and I get the glory for it.
And Zach, this is your 50th win here at NHRL.
Is it really?
Is this just a halfway point?
Holy crap, that's 50? Yes. Yeah, halfway.
Halfway.
Not even.
All right. Well, one thing left to do, Zach. Hold your golden Brett high. All right, there's...
Get over here. You deserve this credit too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us all season. It's been an incredible run from the start to now. The winners have been such feel-good winners. We have just loved every moment of it, and we love all of you at home, everyone in the crowd. Join us next season for our Pro World Championship. And until then, keep fighting those robots, and we love you.